Let me check and make sure. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, Gary won't be with us tonight, but looks like we all live, my brother.
All right.
And
Where's Christy at?
yeah, we've been wanting to get Christy on here for the longest. I know she's got other things going on right now, but hello, Chicago Bulls chat party. We are live here, and we got some things to discuss as far as the Bulls concerned and the NBA. And we just wanted to jump on here. Right now, it's David and I. We're expecting John and possibly Curtis to get in here. Anybody
Barcelona.
else would be a bonus. So, looking at the topics, um, first, I guess we can go ahead and say congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers. You were just asking me what did I think about the bubble,
Yeah.
and like I said, hey, those guys had to earn it. I mean, it wasn't like the other teams just rolled over and laid down.
Right.
Let me hang on, give me 1 second. Let me fix something here. All right, that ought to fix that problem. We just had to get rid of that feedback. So turn that off. Okay. So yeah, so like I was saying, those guys had to compete. It wasn't like the other teams were gonna just lay down. Now I will tell you what is interesting to me, and I was just kind of really shocked that the Clippers fell apart like they did.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, Paul George, it's another friend of mine. I call him George Paul. It's kind of funny. But Paul George was making negative comments about the bubble, like he didn't want to be there, and this was before the playoffs really kicked off. And I thought that was kind of weird, man, that the dude would, hey, it is what it is. You're gonna go down there, you're gonna tough it out, especially if you're about that action, you're about that business, you're about getting that iron.
Yeah.
Guys are supposed to be the what they call it, the competition, for LA fans, and here you come and you guys wet your pants like this. So I was just kind of like shocked,
That's a good way to
man.
put it.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it.
I was shocked, man. I said these dudes gonna lose to, and no knock on Denver, but Denver's a young team. I mean, come on, man. They were overachievers, and you guys are supposed to be superstars, and that would have been like the Lakers losing to Portland.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah, what would have looked like?
Yeah.
So congrats to the LeBron, there, man. Hey, AD, is AD gonna stay in LA? I think he probably will.
I think it's a 0% chance that he leaves LA.
Yeah, he get a chance to get multiple championships.
I mean, it's not just that, but he's represented by Clutch Sports. That's LeBron's people.
Yeah.
He won a championship. He's gonna be in LA. They're gonna pay him as much as the max. I think they can pay him more than anybody else, as a matter of fact. So that just
Well,
don't
yeah,
make no sense. Yeah.
yeah.
But the reason that I asked you about the bubble, because somewhere in the chat, I don't know, maybe it was more than one post where people were just like
Poo on.
all the comments. I never saw any comments that was saying like what you're saying or what
Yeah,
I'm thinking, which is that you play who's in front of you. It is what it is. Like you,
yeah. It is what it
there's
is.
no like, oh well, it's nothing less about winning in the NBA. Period. Like no matter if they did play in the YMCA, if they playing against NBA players, it's an NBA game. I get it, the fans and travel and blah blah blah, but they still played a game, and
Right.
and they played against other NBA players. Everybody had the same situation. It wasn't like anybody had any specific advantage or nothing like that. Um, so they want, it is what it is. Like it just I don't see anything less about it or asterisk by it or none of that. And as a matter of fact, like even I saw people saying about the Heat. The Heat earned their way there though. So you can say whatever you want, but
Right.
they smacked Milwaukee. Milwaukee was supposed to have been. the number one team. They got
Right.
smacked. What was it,
Right.
4-1? They just
Yeah.
got smacked. And this is even before Giannis got hurt. They were getting smacked. So it's
Yeah.
not even because of that. And then
Yeah.
he beat a good Boston team who beat a good Toronto team. So
Yep.
like they earned their way there, and they got two out of it. It wasn't no cakewalk.
Well, they could have gotten more. I
They
contend
had,
they could
yeah,
have gotten more if
injuries,
they were healthy.
and
And
them
they,
injuries hurt them a lot. Yeah,
yeah,
and especially when I thought Bam was a big thing, but honestly, they really missed Dragic too.
yeah,
I mean, I thought, well, they could probably won just if Bam was healthy, but there was games where they really needed scoring.
yeah.
And it's like, man, they could have really used another
They
guy
could have
like
used. They
Dragic
could have used
who could
Dragic.
make them pay.
Yeah, they really could have used Dragic. I don't know what Bam looked kind of weird when he came
When
back
he
down.
came back, he wasn't the same at all.
Yeah,
He
he just
wouldn't. He
like
couldn't finish. He wasn't
he wasn't
dunking.
aggressive. No, I
And
mean,
he hurt his shoulder, so I don't know what that had to do with jumping. Like I don't know
yeah.
why he couldn't dunk or
I
something.
mean, getting to the NBA Finals is not a regular thing. So you get there, man. You got to go for broke. You know,
Yeah. The
like coach.
Clippers. You
Only
brought
thing
up.
gonna hold me back is the coach.
Yeah. You brought up the Clippers. They got to be the most disappointing team. Maybe Philly, the other one. It's one. The funny thing is, I picked both of them. I actually picked Philly and the Lakers to win, to be in the finals. I mean,
Okay.
not the Lakers, the Clippers, and for the Clippers to be the champs at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
because I felt like that team was good last year,
Yeah.
and they brought all the same guys back, just about the same role players that you know went to the second round and replaced the guys they did lose with two stars, well, one superstar and a star,
Right.
and not just offensive guys who play D. So
Right.
that should have been like, but for the whole year, it's just been weird. It just never was.
Well,
It
I
never
will.
clicked. They never had a team come together.
Yeah, I said this not to make excuses for the Clippers, but I do think that the COVID break did have an effect on them.
On the
That's no
Clippers.
excuse for them not to try to rev it back up because, like we said, the other teams had to rev it back up.
Yeah.
So they made out, okay, we don't like this bubble thing, but we're gonna make it do. We're gonna make it do what it do. Like Ray Charles used to say, make it do what it do.
Right.
And so, but I think that if the season would have played out like it normally had, I don't see. We would have definitely had the Lakers and the Clippers in the Western Conference,
Hmm.
and that would have been epic if you ask me because they both would have been showing off for the LA fans.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, I got to give Denver a lot of credit
Yeah,
because I knew they had a good team coming into the season. I'm like, oh, they're going to be a good team. People kind of slept on them a little, but they did way better than I thought. And a lot of it was because Jamal Murray just took a big leap during the playoffs. He went to another level. He wasn't even playing like this in the season. He just went to a whole nother level. And I was like, wow, this guy is playing like a star now.
yeah.
And so they just needed that third guy, I think. But they kind of hurt themselves. And I'm not saying Michael Porter Jr. was necessarily the third guy, but I felt like all that time they kept playing Millsap and not having like Porter Jr. out there, or even Jeremy Grant, he was playing pretty good.
Yeah, I
Instead
don't
of
know what.
Millsap, it
I
was
think
like,
you kept
yeah,
asking that question like
yeah, I
I don't know
just
if it was
never.
you or someone else, but
That was definitely me. I was like,
what
this
is the
dude is
obsession
playing
with
terrible.
Millsap? And I'm 100% on board with you on that one. I never was like,
Right.
everybody was like, hey, this dude getting these big contracts and stuff, and I'm like, Paul Millsap, what?
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah,
He's just
that
a
was.
guy. I mean, he can probably play and feel
Yeah.
the need. Don't get me wrong, but he's not the dude. He's not that
He
dude.
was. The thing was, like, when I was asking that question, he wasn't doing anything. Like, I had watched it 2 or 3 games, and I was thinking, well, maybe he just whatever. Maybe I missed it when he was playing good. I don't know. But then I'm like, okay, he ain't getting no rebounds.
Right.
He ain't stopping nobody. He ain't making no shots. Why is he out on the floor? He ain't doing anything positive,
Yeah.
like except missing shots.
Right. What am I missing here?
I'm like, at least have this boy out here. He out here at least making buckets.
Yeah.
He was a disaster on defense, Porter, but
Yeah.
but he doing
But
buckets.
with that being said, the Clippers had no business losing to them.
Mm-mm.
I think like I said, if the season would have played out like it normally would have, the Clippers would have beat them. It would have been an epic showdown between the Lakers and the Clippers. And I'm with you. I also picked the Clippers to edge out the Lakers in the final. I mean, in the Western Conference Finals, and
Yeah,
that's because of looking at how the team was structured.
yeah,
Now, that's not taking anything away from Lakers because y'all probably know how I feel about playoff Rondo. So I already know
yeah.
he's gonna come the ball.
Was he on the team all year? Yeah, he was. He
Yeah,
was. He was. Yeah,
and all those other characters, they side characters, they got, I don't know nothing about them dudes. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And,
yeah. This surprised me. People were picking the Lakers in the beginning because they had AD, and I was like, they don't got nobody else. Like they got
right, they don't
LeBron and
really need.
AD.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be a team with the Clippers had all them guys, and they still had Kawhi and Paul George, and they still had all that deep bench.
So
And
I
so I'm
think we
like,
got cheated.
that's why I picked them.
I think we
But
got cheated out of a real good series.
yeah, I think they would have played a lot better against the Lakers than they did against Denver anyway. They
Yeah.
just would have they would have played just much better, I think. But what's I saying? But the Lakers surprised me earlier in the season because they came together so fast as a team, like defense wise. And I was like, man, okay, they're gonna probably be tough. I didn't think they would really be a championship team. I
Hmm.
really didn't because I didn't think they had enough. But then I'm like, okay, these guys really play some D. You had AD, you had LeBron, you had Danny Green, you had Avery Bradley, you had Hardwell Pope. All them guys was guarding. Rondo was coming in. Dwight Howard on the team. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I don't know if Dwight Howard was on the team then. Was he on the team in the beginning?
No, I don't know.
I
And I
think they
think they
had
signed him somewhere
Cousins.
along the line. But
Yeah,
to be honest with you, Howard
they
really
came
wasn't.
together though.
He wasn't really a factor against Miami. Mm.
Was what team was he a fact?
They try to they as a matter of fact, and let's give Jimmy Butler his props. They try to put Howard on Jimmy. Jimmy,
Mm,
is y'all crazy? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But overall, like I'll say, as far as the finals, I thought it was pretty good. But I feel like yeah, we got cheated. We should have had the Lakers Clippers in the Western Conference
Western. Yeah.
Finals.
We should have had Lakers Clippers.
And
Everybody
I
would
really was disappointed that the Celtics and Raptors had to play in the second round. I really wish that didn't happen. I wanted Milwaukee. I mean, Miami did great. I didn't expect that,
yeah,
but I thought Milwaukee was going to run through Miami.
yeah.
So what I was hoping is Milwaukee would have gotten to play either the Raptors or like play the Raptors in the second round, and
Well,
then have to play the Celtics in the
here's
finals,
here's
conference
the
finals.
thing. You got the Bucks and how they're structured.
Yeah,
And now some people have criticized their coach. So maybe it's a coaching thing, but if you got Giannis, you have to surround him with shooters because his weakness is obviously getting outside of 10 foot or whatever. I don't,
right.
I think he's okay when he's around 5 feet or something, but when you're pushing him away from the basket, he's not confident. So um, that's not to say he's not working on it, but uh,
Yeah, he's gotten better,
you
but
got it. Yeah, you got to put shooters around him. So what's a team that he would fit perfectly with right now? It is Miami.
you think?
Yeah, because you got shooters on Miami, and you put him at the three, move Jimmy to the two, and you got Dragic, Jimmy, um, and and their bench as well. So I think that he will fit there, but he might. Who knows if he's going to stay in Milwaukee? I don't even know his contract. Cause these rumors are floating around. Is his contract even up or close to being up?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't. I'm so this season has been so weird. Like I usually keep up with all that financial contract
It's just
stuff, and
weird season. Yeah,
I just haven't even looking
yeah,
at none of it. Like
yeah.
the all season.
Yeah, it's just been a weird season. Um,
Yeah,
so I'm not surprised that Miami being a well coached team. I have to give Spoelstra.
yeah,
When Spoelstra had LeBron and Wade and what was his name, I really didn't give him credit. I was like, he got those guys, and Riley is probably calling the shots. But even if that's the case, Spoelstra has definitely earned his spurs, as they say, because he coached the hell out of the Heat this year.
you did.
And he had those boys. I'm telling you, if they was healthy, they could have stole
It's
that
been
series.
tough. Yeah,
I was telling people, I said, hey man, I was telling Lakers fans, it was like, oh, these guys are like JV, junior varsity. I'm like, hey man, y'all better, not. overlook them like that. Then they had the injuries, but even with the injuries, they still fought back.
Yeah.
And that last game, Game 6, Jimmy just didn't have nothing. He put it
Mm-mm.
all out there on in Game 5. I think he played the whole game, didn't he?
He did. I think he may have 1 minute or something. He
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
played the whole game. Yeah. And I gotta say this about Jimmy. I didn't. We all knew Jimmy could play. I mean, we knew that.
Right,
I just didn't know he would be able to do it on that level.
right.
The finals.
Giving off.
Was that game 6
That was
or
Game
game
6. Yeah.
5 when he was
But
going
Game
back?
5 was when he busted out. Yeah,
Yeah, he was going back and forth with LeBron like that. I didn't know he would be able to do that on that stage.
on that level. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew he could. I knew he had the capability, but that's the difference between being a superstar and just being a star, all star, is that you can do it on the highest stage and you can do it repeatedly. He was able to do it a couple times,
You
but
know
he
what's
couldn't do it every game. That was the difference.
You know what's funny since you mentioned that? Somebody posted a video. It was Paul Gasol highlights.
I didn't look at it, but I saw it posted.
Yeah, so it went through it when he was in Memphis, then Lakers, and then some Bulls.
Mm,
And I was sitting there like, man, that 2015 team had no, pardon the French, had no damn business losing to the Cavs.
yeah, yeah,
None. And that was the year Jimmy broke out
yeah.
offensively.
That was the year.
Because we already knew he could play defense, but offensively he broke out. And we were like, where did where did this come from? Is this an anomaly? I mean, what is this? And then no, he had been working. And so I was just sitting up reminiscing, like, man, how did we miss that opportunity? Because Paul still had some juice in the tank.
Who was that?
Paul,
Oh, Gasol. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he still had some juice in the tank. And
Well, he got hurt. That's what happened
what, in 2015?
in that playoff series.
Okay.
Pau Gasol did something like his hamstring or something. That's the only reason why I think they lost, because
Well, I mean,
they
they
were
lost
missing
because of
him.
the lucky shot by LeBron.
Well, that too, but I'm just saying like he just was limited, Powell, and that was a big reason why they lost. But they still shouldn't have lost.
No, they shouldn't have
We
lost
had
that.
Taj Gibson, still had Joe and all that. But yeah, that was tough. We were up 2-1 too, so
Yeah, we should have went up 3-1, man. That
yeah.
LeBron and somebody should have put a foot under him.
Oh wait, what year was that? That was the year
That was
when they went
2015.
to against Golden State. Is that when who
Yeah,
they
they lost to
played?
Golden State. Yeah,
Oh yeah, we
but that was
probably
LeBron's first year back in Cleveland.
that was the semifinals though. Who was in the conference finals? Cleveland and Toronto or something like that.
Somewhere,
We
yeah,
would have definitely beat
yeah,
Toronto. We used to kill Toronto back then,
yeah.
especially Jimmy. Jimmy used to dog
We'd
Toronto.
have smoked Toronto. That wasn't even it was the Cavs were getting past the Cavs would have been huge for the Bulls because beating
Yeah,
LeBron
beating
was like
LeBron. Yeah,
a mental hurdle.
yeah,
Man. So even some of the diehard LeBron fans, brother, a friend of mine, he's a diehard LeBron fan, but he was really worried about that series.
oh,
He
the Cavs. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was really worried about that series because he knew he had saw what the Bulls had,
Hmm.
Gasol and Rose and Butler coming out of nowhere, and he was like, "Oh man, this ain't the
Yeah,
this ain't the 2011 Bulls."
right,
And it was just Rose.
right. Yeah. Hmm. Man, Jimmy played great. Honestly, you
What's
know,
up, Sean?
John is out here.
No, Sean. That's Sean.
Oh, Sean,
Yeah, Sean Davis. Yeah,
Sean Davis, my boy. What up, Sean?
yeah.
But
Uh,
is he coming on? Or he's just watching?
oh, he just watched. I mean, you can invite him on. If he's got time. Yeah,
Yeah. We do need to see if we can get Sean on one day because
yeah.
he's
I'll be
him
catching
and
this
Gene.
broadcast with him and his
Yeah,
wife.
yeah, yeah. Um, what did he say?
And
Oh,
their banter. Sometimes they go back and forth. It'd be kind of funny.
yeah, yeah, true.
As a matter of fact, he has Scoop. Ain't that Scoop Jackson? He has
That
Scoop.
he had on there. Yeah,
Yeah,
he had him on. I didn't get to watch it yet, but yeah, he had him on there. Um, but yeah, I mean, Jackson. Actually, Jimmy kind of frustrated me because I thought he was too unselfish. I'm talking about in the finals. I
Oh,
thought that I
yeah.
thought the games where they won, he was scoring a lot and all that stuff.
Right.
But like game 6 and whatever game, maybe another game before,
Game four, he was kind of
he was
passive.
too unselfish.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the best to me, it's not unselfish if the best option is for you to score, and you don't do it. That's
I,
not being unselfish to me.
I agree with you, but you got to realize too, these guys are indoctrinated with team concept, so they don't, unless the coach say, "Hey, man, you go, you got the high hand, go for yours,"
Yeah,
or
I know.
another player say that they're
Yeah,
going to kind of rein themselves into the
some
team.
guys, yeah, some guys you don't got to tell them that, but
Well, yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, you
yeah.
got a Michael Jordan or
A
somebody
guy
like
like
Kobe.
him, yeah, you got to
Kobe, they
tell him.
gonna go for it. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, man, dude, there were times I was like super frustrated with him because I'm like, dude, y'all need a bucket and you up here giving it to Jay Crowder. Like, come on, man, shoot the ball on these guys, get it to the line or something. So he played great though, and we knew Jimmy was a good player. Like that was never the issue. I know a lot of people try to go back, look what happened, see what we gave up. That wasn't the issue. Even as a person who advocated that we blow that team up, I never felt like Jimmy can't play or nothing like that. That had nothing to do with it.
no, no, no.
What it had to do with was the Bulls aren't going anywhere
Right,
with Jimmy,
right.
and he's coming up on a contract that he
Might as well get
want.
some assets.
What
Yeah,
is that called? The super max
yeah.
contract and all that stuff. And it's like that's not. He's gonna be 30 years old at that point. He's coming on like 28, 29. It's like we had nobody, so it didn't make sense. They blew it. Gar and Pax blew it.
Yeah, go
And
ahead and get
so
some assets. But yeah, I agree with you, and that's what I keep trying to. What's the guy's name? Kevin
I
Molina.
was about to just mention him. So if Kevin is watching, I know he's always, oh, see, I told you so, whatever. The people like me and John specifically, I know we specifically were like this. The most, the worst case scenario was what happened,
Right.
right? The worst case scenario was we're going to keep getting high draft picks and we're going to keep sucking and we're not going to get anywhere. But even if all that happens, eventually that means Gar and Pack's going to be out of there. And that's exactly what happened. So I was okay with that. Like, okay, even if we never get anywhere, they're not going to let this team keep being bad without firing these jokers. And so for me, it was like, this is a win-win. Even if we don't get good, we're still getting high picks and we're getting rid of these jokers. So that's where we are now. And I'm okay with it. I'm happy that Jimmy came up with a nice situation. Where'd you go?
Brother, somebody kept calling my phone and kept
Oh,
calling my phone and kept calling my phone. I figured I'd probably go ahead and answer. See who the hell it is. Keep calling me. AT&T,
oh yeah.
AT&T tech support has scheduled a service call, and only part of my internet is working. So
Oh wow, that's
yeah,
crazy.
but this
All
part is
right.
working, obviously.
So, what you
Yeah.
think about the bubble overall? Like,
So yeah, I thought the whole bubble thing was weird, but I give the NBA credit
yeah,
because they were ahead of the game, and they said, okay, we're going to take all these players that are involved, we're going to put them in this bubble, and we're going to keep
yeah,
them there, and nobody else can come in and out of the bubble. If you leave the bubble, you're out. And I think that's probably what. Then that fool that went to the strip club, talking about he went there for some wings. I mean,
Lou Williams.
if you talking about getting somebody infected, going to a strip club, you get the whole facility infected. But I think he got sent home, didn't he?
No, he was out there. He
Oh,
was
okay,
not playing well, but he was out there.
yeah. But
Which,
overall, I thought at first I was kind of like, but then I was like, hey, these guys actually making it work because the other teams they had no way, like the NFL having a problem. They had no way of controlling these dudes. These dudes
yeah,
out
the NFL is
partying.
having a big problem.
These dudes out partying and doing whatever, and they're ignoring. They're probably not even wearing masks when they're out in public, and God knows who they're around. You know what I'm saying? And then they're coming
Yeah,
in, because they think they're Superman, and they're affecting everybody. And so I give the NBA credit. They like, hey, these are the rules. You guys got to stay in this bubble, and we're going to test you. And they made it work, man. I don't think they had any. Did they have any positive tests inside the bubble?
I don't think they did.
Yeah.
No, they did send somebody home. Daniel House on the Rockets got sent home
Okay.
because he was doing something crazy. I think with a woman or
Yeah, he
something.
probably got
They
himself.
sent him home.
Yeah.
So they weren't playing around, and good
Yeah.
for them because the NFL is definitely having a lot of issues.
Well, yeah, you got a bunch of fools, and I'm not saying all of them, but you probably got a bunch of fools who listening to that Orange Goofy in the White House, and they're not wearing masks.
Yeah,
and
yeah, you probably do.
yeah, and so they're out thinking they're Superman, and they're catching it and giving it to other people, and the danger is they're giving it to other people and giving it to old people. We know older people are more susceptible to checking out of here. So, but yeah, that's my overall thought. I thought the NBA did a great job.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my grandmother's calling me. Um,
You
I
too,
can't just ignore my
huh?
granny. Yeah. What was I gonna say?
She's like,
No,
"Hey,
I
baby,
agree with you.
baby, what you doing?" My
Right.
Grammy, I'm
Well,
live.
that's the second time, so that's what really made me just text her back because I'm like, wow, is it important? So, I was gonna say, I agree with you. The bubble, I think it was a success. They pulled it off, and good kudos to Adam Silver and them. I don't know what they're gonna do next year. That's the thing that I'm kind of wondering how they're gonna. They can't do a bubble again. Like
No, they can't.
I
And
don't know what they're gonna.
hopefully, by the time they're ready to actually get the season started, this thing is the government has a grip on this thing. We
We
got to
need to talk
we
to
got to get
Adrian and
people
see
in
what's
place
going on.
that we got to get people in place to actually do something because
Yeah,
there's no excuse for this. There are other countries that got it under control now.
yeah, we could have been had it under control if
Mm.
they would have just shut everything down and stopped playing around in the beginning. But
So, but
um,
yeah, I don't know if the government is able to get it under control, we'll probably get to see a regular season, and we might not get a preseason like the NFL didn't get a
yeah,
preseason.
yeah, we might not.
Yeah.
I don't think the NBA needs one anyway.
And boo hoo, who cares about the preseason
Yeah,
anyway, right?
preseason is always terrible.
I hate it in the NFL
I
too.
never liked. Yeah, I always hated that. Only thing I used to like about it is seeing like guys you didn't expect maybe make
Right,
the team or something
right, right, right.
in the
Bubble guys.
NFL.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
in NBA preseason, that's terrible. Um, Let me see. So we talked about the bubble. What about the
Yeah, let's talk about the Bulls season.
Bulls
So,
thing? Yeah,
I know they only had a half a season, and then they all got shut down. But you know what? It's probably good for Bulls fans that it did because Clown, we know the Clown got finally got fired, and we were all speculating as to why.
yeah, we were. The last time we did this, we were speculating that he was. Were they going to fire him and all that?
Yeah,
And he
and
got fired the next day, I think.
yeah, and so as it turns out, Arturus was really taking his time.
Yeah.
We thought that the Rangers were interfering, and come to find out, the Rangers ate some more contracts because they fired a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah, that really surprised me. I was completely
So
shocked.
that sends me the signal then that somebody, either Michael or I doubt it's Papa. I'll say Michael got it. Is like, hey, we got to do some things differently. I'm taking charge now, and we're gonna bring some guys in here and let them do what they got to do.
Yeah, it was very surprised. I would have never imagined that they would eat all them contracts. I
Yeah, I
would have
saw
never
Artura's
imagined
interview.
that.
They interviewed him at the Bulls scrimmage bubble, which is
Yeah.
one of the things on our list, and they were asking him about Denver, of course, and
What did he say about it?
well, I mean, he was he agreed that they're set up properly. He was congratulatory of them, but he can't a whole lot about his former team. And but um, you know, but they were kind of asking, "You want to try and do some of the similar things here?" And he's kind of, well, kind of, yeah, but I want to see what we got in our core right now first before I go to
Yeah.
him anything else. I want to see what we got now. So
Yeah.
yeah, so he's determined to see what these guys can do with a new coach, new system, and maybe Patty is young. I'm not saying he's the future or anything, but he can have a good, decent season, and because this is his last year, I believe. He only had a 2 year. I think he only had a 2 year
I
contract.
think he had two with an option or something
Yeah,
or something like that. It's both of them, him and Sadorinsky.
yeah, 2 year with an option. Cornette. I know. Cornette was like, "Oh man, that dude look like trash out there," but he didn't look like trash when he played with the Knicks. So what was it?
No, he didn't. Yeah.
Was Boylan using
Well, I
him
mean, look how
all the way?
bad Thaddeus Young played last year. He
Yeah,
wasn't,
well,
and he's
until about
always been a good player.
right until about a certain point, I think he took the Zach Levine, he was like,
Yeah,
"Oh man, screw this, I'm gonna play ball." And but it'd be interesting to see if Cornette has got anything, and maybe the Bulls can trade him for something. If he can revive himself.
yeah. um, man, but it's just. I mean, I was thinking about this on my way to work the other day. I'm like, man, this is really a whole different thing now. Because for the Bulls to say like, okay, we're getting rid of all these other people, but we still gonna pay him. Because I think one of them guys, they just picked up his extension or something. One of those coaches, they
And the
just
trainer
picked it
stuff.
up.
Don't forget the trainer stuff gone too.
Yeah, they gone, but I don't know if they had like contracts that were still going to be coming up. I think that was the end of Jeff Tanaka's thing. I
Could have
think.
been, but
Yeah,
I don't. Even if it wasn't, I think they'd have been out of here.
yeah,
I
he's out
mean,
of here. But I mean, but like, cause what was it, Roy Rogers? It was like four assistants, and they're
yeah,
all gone. And so I'm like, wow, that's because I think Roy Rogers had a pretty decent contract for an assistant
yeah. Well, they
because
kept
he
one.
used to be on a different team, and he came to the Bulls. You
They
know,
kept one guy. I don't remember which
they
one.
kept Chris Fleming, the one from the Nets.
Okay, is he the one that Boylan was treating funny?
I don't know. He was basically the a head assistant.
Okay,
Yeah, they got him from the Nets, so I think they had paid him pretty well to come to be the Bulls.
I think he's the one that Boylan was kind of like insecure about, and he was treating him funny.
Uh, was he? I don't know, but
Yeah.
they kept him. He had a previous relationship with Arturis in Denver.
Okay.
He's before, so they
Okay.
kept him.
So
But that
yeah,
means Billy Donovan might be bringing Mo Cheeks to Chicago, back
yeah,
home.
that'd be cool.
That'd be very cool.
I believe he's a Hall of Famer, isn't
He thinks so. He should be if
he?
he
Yeah.
isn't. I'm pretty sure he is.
So
Yeah.
basically, you got a Hall of Famer coming in to help these young boys. Hey, you can't beat that, man.
I'm like an unusually big Mo Cheeks fan. I don't even think most people like. I'm like a super Mo Cheeks fan when I was little.
Yeah,
Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes,
I
he
was
is
a
a Hall of
Dr. J fan when I was little.
I was that first. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the first person I was a fan of. Dr. J did Magic, but then when I started watching the Sixers, I was like, well, I can't play like Dr. J. So let me Mo Cheeks. That's the guy I need to be like.
Yeah, I can't move like the doctor. Right, right. Yeah, especially when he did that. He used to do all them finger rolls under the basket.
Yeah.
He go on the other side of the basket, like ooh. And
Well, also my family knew Mo Cheeks, so that was the other thing. Like they
okay,
grew up with him. My family used to live in Robert Taylor Homes. I don't know if you ever heard of that in Chicago. It's a big project, and they used to live in the same floor or somewhere with Mo Cheeks. They were neighbors, in the project. So my grandmother used to talk about him, my uncles. So I always was like, oh, all right, so that's like family. So I wore number 10 because of that. Anyway, it'd be nice to have him back.
yeah, it'd be cool to have
Chicago.
him, man. And it'll be interesting to see how Donovan. Now Donovan hasn't come to Chicago yet, so that's what Chris said. But I think the players, the team allowed the players, and I think the league has allowed teams to have the players scrimmage. Um, but for whatever it is, definitely the Bulls were allowed to let their players scrimmage. So I
Yeah.
think you got maybe some trainers and some coaches that are running that kind of show. But
Well, Chris Fleming, well, he ran that
yeah, yeah,
the scrimmage.
yeah.
Yeah,
But no, Donovan hadn't showed up yet, so I'm guessing he should be here either at the end of the month or
yeah, at some point.
yeah.
Um, I heard an interview with him. He was talking about why he wasn't going to be there. I think because he had to quarantine, and by the time he would have done all of that, it would have been too late anyway.
Too
So it
late. Yeah.
just, yeah,
So they want those guys to quarantine for 2 weeks or something.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I saw some of it. What'd you think about it? The scrimmages.
Oh, yeah. I mean, nothing surprises me. Now I do see that um, Hutch again. Knock on wood, as they say, staying healthy. I mean, he looks like a rabbit again. He's ready to rip and run and get out there. Hopefully, he's been working on his jump.
Yeah, I know he has. I just
Yeah.
don't know why he's not getting that much better at
I don't know. I don't. We won't
it.
know until we get to see him play. Actually
Yeah.
play.
But I know for sure he works on his jumper because
Yeah.
his trainer talks about it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see if he has any improvement in his shooting percentage this year. But as far as his raw athleticism, the boy he's got that.
A lot of guys don't like him or they think he's like whatever, but I see a lot of potential. I just
I see a lot of potential.
it's
Yeah,
the shot. If he could shoot, he would be able to be
if he could
probably a
shoot,
starter
if
because
it, you're right, if his shooting
uh,
percentage was good, he'd be a starter.
yeah.
And with his athleticism and
And he
everything.
can't stay healthy. That's the other problem. If he could stay healthy,
Yeah,
then we could at least see, you know, like the last 2 years. If he would have stayed healthy, he would have had a chance to get a lot of
he'd have had a
minutes.
lot of playing time. Yeah,
Yeah, because Otto wasn't well. The first year, I don't think we had Otto, or did we?
we didn't get out of
Whatever,
like
but he had
we
he
didn't get
had a
out of
lot of
like the second half of the year or something.
yeah.
Uh,
He would have had a lot of playing time. So
yeah,
that sucks for him. This is a big year for him for sure,
yeah.
especially with a new coach.
New
Because Billy
coach,
Donovan ain't going nowhere. So
no, new coach, new opportunity, new
knew
system.
everything. Yeah.
You got a real coach. You ain't got no fool, no clown with a punch clock.
That was stupid. And you know what? I wasn't big on the the Billy Donovan as a candidate at first. Like I was like, whatever. I wasn't like whatever. But first of all, I never thought the Bulls would get Billy. I didn't think he would even consider coming to the Bulls
Well, that's what
because
I
I
kept telling
felt like
people when
yeah,
what's his name was poo pooing on the Bulls coaching search. When Stephen A. Remember that
yeah, Stephen A.
in that
Yeah,
interview, and I said, man, how you gonna talk with the trash Knicks? You a big trash Knicks fan, and you what coach? And he was talking trash because I think they had just signed Till.
yeah.
So he had his chest stuck out, and he was talking about talking down on the Bulls, and it was some guy that had just I think he just either got fired from Toronto or maybe was gonna be leaving Toronto, and they were asking the guy if he considered the Bulls, and the guy was like, "Well, I'm trying to take some time off, honestly."
Hmm.
But Stephen A. was egging, talking about, no, I'll answer for him. The Bulls are trash and blah blah blah. Ain't gonna get no coach and yada yada yada, you know. And I'm like, man, we got a whole new regime, man. What are you
Yeah, it's a
talking
whole new
about?
thing. He's still talking like it's the old people
Yeah, I'm
era.
saying he's still talking like Garpax and them still, you know. Dude's out of here, man. You know, I think if I'm not mistaken, Gar was the first axe, wasn't he?
Who?
Gar was the first axe
I
that
think
said,
so. I
yeah,
believe so. Or if not, that training staff dude
yeah.
might have been one of them. Yeah, they were definitely the first couple.
He said it was funny because it said that Matthias had his first and only interview, and that was probably a Zoom or something with Gar. He said Matthias said him and Gar not on the same page.
I wish I could hear what the hell Gar was talking about because
Ain't no telling what that fool was saying, man. You know, talking about some loyalty bull crap or who God knows what. You know, and I
Gar man, I don't know
I
what's
think
going
the
on.
GM should be able to go and give the players. Remember, he was trying to give Wade, and Wade and them said that he was trying to get them plays, run plays. He coming down there.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, Gar was a weird dude, man. He was a strange guy. He really was.
Man, who told you was a coach? You don't know nothing about no plays, man.
Funny
Get
thing
out
is, he did used to be a coach
of here.
in
Did he?
college, yeah. But I think he was involved in some kind of scandal, like because he's
Okay.
so slimy and sleazy. It seems like to me, like
Well, it's funny because John Joyner, who hadn't got on here, he was supposed to be on here tonight, was pointing out how Ballin he saw Ballin had a history at Utah or something.
yeah, yeah, I read about that. Yeah,
And it was a big to do because it was a big old thing in the paper, and basically he turned the whole team out, and they all hated him and wanted him out of there. So
yeah, they wanted him. Yeah, he was terrible.
and so
That's why I remember when he first got hired. We were talking about it at that point. I remember
yeah,
like this dude couldn't even lead a college team. Like, okay,
yeah,
he's been in the NBA a long time. All right, I'm sure he knows about ball, but he obviously is not a good head coach. So I
yeah.
don't know.
Is he a decent assistant? Maybe I don't know. We don't really know.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't
We
even
don't
know
really
that.
know what
Yeah.
he was doing, you know, because we don't really know. I mean, he did work for Pop, so we don't really know. But when given the head coaching reign, I mean, okay, so you fire Hoiberg. I mean, obviously you're gonna have a temporary coach. We all get that, right? Finish out the
Right.
season, but before the season was even over, they were giving this dude an
They gave him an
extension. So
extension. That was crazy. That was crazy.
What has he done to deserve an extension, man? Let's see what he can do. If
Yeah,
you want to ride him,
interesting.
give him a half a season.
Interview him. If you want to interview him, that's cool.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have gave him the job. Like he didn't do anything to show that he should have gotten a job.
No, not
That was crazy.
especially if other coaches were available. But then that's where we start to wonder if they was getting cheap.
Yeah, yeah. That was just to say. I'm so glad all of that is over.
Yeah,
Because that was just really bad.
and
That was like rock
that makes
bottom
me
for them.
wonder if it was really Reinsdorf being cheap or if it was Paxson.
Yeah, I don't know because
You
it
know, those,
surely ain't being cheap now. So
do those
maybe it
guys
was
get a
Paxton.
yeah? Do those guys get a bonus for every dime they save? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. It's crazy. Why not? You know, I was gonna say about Billy Donovan. I mean, the good thing about all of this is even if Billy Donovan is not like championship coach or whatever, it doesn't even matter right now because we so far away from being a championship team. We just need an NBA coach, and he's
An
that.
NBA coach to
So
develop the young players.
yeah,
Yeah,
so he's that. And if he's gone in 5 years, fine. But for right now, I'm happy
yeah,
because that means we're at least getting an NBA level coach,
yeah. He can put
and
these guys on the right path.
yeah,
Yeah.
people will respect the team again or the organization and say, okay,
Now, what we are
Portland was a joke.
right, or what we are hoping is he turn them or he get them playing good and they attract a star.
Yeah, yeah.
And that happens anything.
Or they develop some stars.
Yeah, either one. Yeah, but you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying. So anything's possible.
yeah,
You never know how good these guys could be. We're gonna find out. And
right.
they're as good as some of us think they are. Then they should definitely attract them.
I'm starting to wonder if Kobe White is he gonna get the keys in the beginning.
I
I
think
wonder what they see as far as that. That's what
I,
I'm wondering.
I don't know Donovan, but if I'm Donovan, I say yes because look, did you see the scrimmage?
That's why I said that because I saw some of the scrimmage and he looked pretty dominant out
That
there.
dude, I didn't know he had a
So
second. I didn't know he had a second gear like that.
yeah, he looked pretty dominant in what I did. This part that I did see. So I was like, man, they might just hand over the keys to him.
And that's what somebody. I'm gonna bust Curtis up. Let's get Curtis on here. We're gonna bust him up.
Oh, he said he was at his son's game.
Yo, he put a scenario of what was it? It was trading a number 4 pick.
Man, he put up scenarios every other day.
No, but this one would. I mean, some of them I think are pretty decent, but this one was like you trade the number 4 pick and some
Oh, I commented on it, I think.
and
Didn't I?
some and some. Oh, you trade the number 4 pick and somebody. Who was it? Gafford. Yeah, you trade the number 1
I
pick. I
think it
mean,
was Thaddeus Young and Gafford.
yeah, Thad and Gafford and the number 4 to
Oh,
Golden
I
State.
didn't comment. I said I wasn't even going to comment. That's
Yeah,
why.
to
Yeah.
Golden State, I believe,
For the number 2 pick.
to get Melo
Yeah.
Ball, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving up Gafford from LaMelo Ball when we got Kobe.
I'm not there's no reason to make any trade ups.
None,
Period. There's
none, not for
nobody there
no,
that's worth trading up and giving up anything.
no,
You
no.
stay
I
where you
mean,
are or trade down, but don't stay trade up.
now if
That
you
was
didn't, now if you
sucker.
didn't have Kobe, then I can see you kind of thinking about something like that. But you got you just drafted Kobe. Why would you give up assets to go up higher to draft LaMelo Ball,
Yeah.
especially when the potential? Oh, I'm telling you, I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I like Obi, man.
Be
And
topping.
yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah.
And you could,
Yeah, I mean he's
you
got a
could, you
lot
could
of talent for
that boy
sure.
can play shooting forward here for in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's athletic, he's quick, he can shoot,
Yeah, he's
and he's big.
I've been watching some workouts. His shooting is pretty good.
So imagine picking him.
His problem is he can guard my grandmother. That's the
He,
problem.
hey, they, they
So
can teach him how to play defense
she
like
got a
that.
walker. So
Hey,
I mean,
like John
how
always
many
say,
people are
I mean,
really
they're playing
guarding
defense
anybody?
anyway, right?
Yes, but you see, like even with Michael Porter Jr., if you're really bad, it's gonna hurt. Like
Right. But you
you gotta
can,
at least be competent on defense.
But they can they I mean if you can play ball, they can teach you to
They
be
can make you competent. Yeah,
competent enough to
this is gonna
play
take you
team.
time.
Yeah.
Cause like Porter, he is really bad on defense at
But
moments, but he had some moments where he was all right. So
but for all intents and purposes,
he's young though. That's
all
different.
intents and purposes, this is really his first year, right?
It is, yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
So so if you get a Toppin, you plugging him in as shooting forward, and now you got him, you got Hutch. Then you don't have to re-sign what's his name?
Lowry.
No,
Oh, Otto. Oh, they weren't gonna
yeah.
do that anyway. Yeah.
I'm just saying you don't even have
Um.
to think about it now
Nah, yeah.
because you got two good young.
Well, the thing is, they'll be topping him play four. He doesn't even have to. He can play the four too. So even if you don't want to keep Lowry, he can. He
I
plays
mean,
Lowry.
I'm sure he can play both. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, but I'm looking at him as a potential shooting forward star in the future. That's what I'm looking at. And you know,
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. Because everything is trending smaller. I don't know if he can guard some of these smaller guys. That's the biggest problem
well,
because he's doesn't
look at
move
Giannis.
well.
Giannis ain't small.
No, but he moves well. Obi Toppin doesn't move his hips and stuff well. Like he's stiff. He plays like I'm talking about defensively. Offensively, I have no problem with
That's
nothing.
what I'm talking about. I'm talking
But
about
I'm talking about guarding these. For him to be a three, he got to be able to guard threes. That's the problem.
right.
So that's why I say he's really more of a four because he can't. If anything, let's say sometimes you really go small because he can protect the rim. Maybe you play him at five even small if you want to be small. He about 6'9",
Well,
athletic.
if you get him, in my opinion, he's good three to four, and sometimes five, like you said.
Yeah,
And you got versatility there, um, with him and and mixing in with the other guys you got. And then two, now we got a coach who can probably develop some of these kids.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm not big on him. I like him, but I don't. I don't know. I don't want the Bulls to take him. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
heard
I
that.
I
Yeah.
think it's funny because I'm actually leaning more towards Denny again. I'm not
Kobe,
again, but now
you talking about that guy from Israel?
people have been talking about him so much that I'm like, I saw some of him
Yeah,
working out
yeah.
too.
And he
I'm
alright, but
leaning towards that.
I'm not big on him either. I'm not big on
But
him.
see, you're only looking at scoring though. This guy can do everything. He's not a big time scorer. He will not probably ever be that. And Obi Toppin probably gonna get you 20 points a game, maybe. That's what he is. He's a guy who can
And
score,
this is a scoring league
which
right
is
now, bro.
nice. But there's so many other parts of the game that the Bulls need for sure. The Bulls really don't need a guy just coming in and scoring. What they need is a guy doing all these other things that they don't have, and that's why I'm leaning more towards either a point guard or a guy who can really guard or a Denny. So either one of them actual small forwards who can really guard, or Denny, who's also a small forward, but he's not like a high level defender, but he's a good defender actually. He's a pretty good defender, good playmaker, which is what they need. I'm not saying I want Denny. I'm saying I'm leaning towards
Yeah.
that
Well,
because
I
I'm
think nothing.
starting to see where the Bulls he would really fit on the Bulls. That's what I'm starting to see.
Well, I think
But
that we
really, what I want is point guard. That's what I really want
okay.
because I feel like none of these other pieces are gonna look good until we get that.
So
And Kobe White is not that. He's not.
you still don't think Kobe can do that?
He's not. No,
Okay.
I don't think he'll ever have the mindset of being a point guard. And the only way that I'll be okay with
He
Kobe
might
being a
prove us
point
wrong.
guard,
You never know, man.
no, it's something you got to have already. You
Okay.
can't become that. Well, I shouldn't say that because Jimmy developed that.
Well,
He
I'm
developed.
only reason I'm saying that is because
It's rare. Let's say that.
maybe he wasn't encouraged to be that
No, he wasn't.
in the
He's always
boys
been he's a leading all time leading
score.
scorer in the state of
So
North
that's not
Carolina.
so
He's
no.
always been a scorer. That's what he is.
So we can't
So
say
I'm
it's
not
not in
saying
him.
he couldn't be a better facilitator, but I'm
Right.
saying he will always be wired to score. That's just what he is.
True.
And I wouldn't even want to change that. Let him be who he is. I'm
True.
fine with that.
True.
But
But what I'm
the
saying
only
is
way that
that
would
might
work
be him.
though,
Huh?
but the only way that's going to work for the Bulls
Mm-hmm.
is if somebody is their playmaker. It doesn't have to be
Facilitator.
Kobe.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Kobe. But if you can find a three who can do that, or maybe play through Wendell Carter, which is what I want them to do. The same way Denver plays through Jokic and Bam is Miami plays through Bam. That's what I want them to do with Wendell because he's already that. He can already do that, but they don't use him that way. They use him like he's Clint Capella or somebody. They don't use him like he got the skills that he does
Yeah,
because
he's got some good skills. And that's again. Now we get back to coaching. So will Billy Donovan identify these guys' skill set
I think he will.
and exploit them? Yeah,
Because
he
even
got.
Steven Adams, he used to use Steven Adams in that way some.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
I guess what we do agree on is the Bulls should not trade up. We both agree on that.
Oh, absolutely not. I don't even know why people keep saying that. As much as I would love to have LaMelo, I'd be very
I
happy with
wouldn't
that.
trade up. I wouldn't give up
But I
assets.
would not trade up for it. That's
Nah,
stupid
that's
to
dumb.
me. To me, I don't. You know, I don't know. I could be wrong.
Now, if he was Allen Iverson or something, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. But I could be wrong. I don't like the philosophy of trading up in general. So that's why
Yeah,
I don't like it. And when we did do it, because this is the thing about the draft. The draft, as they always say, is like hit or miss or whatever. You know what they call it. You you could hit or you could miss whatever. So to me, you got to have as many chances at it as you can. So
yeah.
what I think you should be doing is getting as many picks as possible and seeing who turns out, not giving them up. Like I don't want to give up picks or
So what did Guard give up for? What did Guard and Pax give up for?
for Doug McDermott.
Yeah.
They gave up 2 picks, which was that's why I'm saying, like if you are going to do that, it has to be a surefire guy. Like if they would have traded up and got Zion, then okay. If they would have traded up and got even John Morant, I didn't necessarily want them to do that last year. But if they did, I would have been like, okay, whatever.
Okay.
Because I
Live,
know,
you can live with that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I agree with you. I'm not going to trade up unless it's what I think is a once in a
It
lifetime
has to
kind of
be,
player. Yeah.
yeah. And this guy is not. There's nobody in this draft that's like that that
No,
I
there's no
see.
once in a lifetime kind of players out there
No,
in this draft. No.
no.
So I'm not.
Um,
I wouldn't do that either. But so we did cover the final and we talked about the scrimmage a little bit.
yeah.
Let's talk about Donovan. We really didn't. I mean, we acknowledged him, but so you said that you wasn't really looking at him.
Yeah, I mean, he was never a guy who I'm like, man, that guy is a great coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that. I'm not saying he's a bad coach at all. I'm just saying, like, he was never a guy I'm like, dang, man, that's who the Bulls need to get. And then when he became available, I never thought the Bulls could get him anyway. So I never even thought about him. I was thinking about these other guys, some of those assistants they were talking about, you
Well, to
know?
be honest with you, and Arturis let that cat out the bag. He wasn't on their radar until he did become available. They
Yeah.
they were
I
honing
heard they really went after him.
they were honing in on some other cats, and then when
Yeah.
he came available, they were like, put the
Yeah,
brakes on.
he
Yeah,
said Arturis was like really coming after him, like,
yeah. He said
he said he
Artur
was like, "Damn, man, like I'm just, give me a minute, basically."
Arturis flew
He said
down.
Arturos was like, "Yeah, Man, I'm gonna be down there on Monday." He's like,
Right,
"Wait a
right,
minute,
right.
damn, man, like."
Arturis flew down to Miami to talk to him. Oh, I guess he
Yeah,
was somewhere in Florida. Arturis got on the plane and like, hey, I'm coming to talk to you tomorrow.
right. Arturos was about it. I was like, okay, but I mean, he's a good coach. Like, that's the thing. So let's say there's 30 coaches, right? He's not a bad coach.
Right,
He's not an elite coach.
right.
He's in that middle thing. I say he's above average. I say he's a pretty decent coach. You know what I'm saying? He's decent.
But now with his experience and what he's learned, because coaches have to evolve too, right?
Hmm.
So now what he's have learned, maybe he can go to the next level too.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And he seemed like the kind of guy who want to get better at things or whatever, you know. Because even like when the Thunder lost, that was one of my things. They lost on they had a chance to win on a last second play, and the play was terrible. I was like, what kind of play was that?
yeah.
Dang, I mean, why is Steven Adams got the ball? Why doesn't Chris Paul have the ball in this,
Yeah.
this last play? So that was a terrible
Well,
play.
here's the other question too, and other than Chris Paul, what other stars did they have?
Oh, Chris Paul was their star, but I'm just saying that's why he should have had the ball.
I agree.
He wasn't even involved in the play,
I guess my
which
point is,
was weird. Like you got a last second play and he's not involved in it. I'm not saying he had to shoot, but why isn't he even involved? He don't even have the ball. He's not taking it out.
right.
He's not even looking like he's getting ready to get the ball on the play. I'm
I
like,
guess
what is that?
what I'm driving at is um, either OKC outplayed themselves, overplayed themselves,
Oh, they definitely did. Yeah,
or the Rockets being who they are. Because what I'm saying is Chris Paul by himself drug a bunch of dudes and almost stole that series. That's what I'm getting.
yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah,
You're 100% right. You were 100% right. They had no business. First of all, they had no business being this good this year
right,
in general.
right.
I think I may be one of the few people who thought they could make the playoffs. Like everybody thought like they had no chance. I said, oh, I think they'll be a playoff team because Gallinari and Chris Paul coming to this team. They should at least be solid. Maybe make the playoffs. But I didn't think they would be this good. And then like they shouldn't even been in a position to win that game. But for whatever reason, they could have. Was that game 7 or did they go 7? I don't remember.
They
But
went seven. Yeah,
that was game 7.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fourth of
they
game.
shouldn't even been in that situation like you're saying. Chris Paul and them definitely drugged them to that
Matter
situation.
of fact,
But I'm saying,
if I
being that you're in that, you
yeah,
got to come up with a better play than that.
if
Like
I'm not
that's just
mistaken, then didn't OKC had a chance to eliminate the Rockets, didn't they?
yeah, they would have put the Rockets out. Yeah, I think they would have been much better against the Lakers than
Yeah,
the Rockets were. They
yeah.
wouldn't have beat them, but having Chris
No, but
Paul
they'd
going
had
at
much
them,
more
that would have been
competition. Yeah,
yeah. Going
yeah.
against Chris
And
Paul and
speaking of
them,
Chris Paul, one of the other rumors are one
no,
other scenario.
absolutely
What do
not.
you think about the Bulls? Now I'm not saying trade the number 4, but what about some other
No,
scenarios?
no, no.
None.
Oh well, I mean, like Otto Porter and
And a second round or something. Yeah.
yeah, but why would OKC do it though?
Maybe they
That's
trying to
the
dump salary. If they're trying to dump salary, I'm only looking at it as if OKC is trying to dump salary, get some young ass. So you probably have to
yeah.
give them a young
Did they
player,
hire a coach? I don't know.
an expiring contract, a young player, and a second round draft pick or
So
something.
who's a young player?
That's the
Who are they
question.
gonna want? Kobe White.
Well,
They
they not
probably
getting
would want
Kobe.
if they want. I'm gonna be honest with you. All these scenarios that people are throwing out and they name guys. If you put Lowry in your scenario, I'm gonna not care. That's the one dude I really don't care if they throw him in a trade. I don't, and I think he can play, but I just don't see enough up in here from him. So if you want to trade Lowry, fine. But if I do not want you to trade Wendell, and I think it's dumb to want to trade Zach unless you're getting a superstar back.
Right, right. If you're not getting a superstar back, why would you do it? And then who's gonna
Yeah,
give you a superstar?
yeah. So exactly. So
Oh,
I mean, I like Kobe White. I would be maybe okay if they traded him, but it has to be a real good player for you to be giving
that'd
up
be a real
Kobe
good
White.
situation. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but not Chris Paul. No, I'd rather just keep Kobe White and these other guys.
No,
But
no,
yeah,
no, no.
they might take Otto,
I was
maybe
only,
Lowry, and a pick,
yeah,
maybe a future pick or something.
yeah. I was just thinking of, the OKC wants a salary dump. They want to get a few assets. That kind of scenario. I wasn't talking about trading number 4, getting,
Yeah,
trading
no,
Kobe away and all that old dumb stuff. No,
no.
you know. And
Mm-mm.
some of these trade scenarios are ridiculous, man.
They really
You
are.
know, Zach
Yeah.
LaVine for some dude in Utah. I'm like, man, get the hell out of here. Next, I don't even want to finish reading this crap. You know,
I tell you who should be trying to get Zach Levine. Out of all the teams I watched, man, well, not just that team, but Dallas for sure. If you were the Mavericks, you should be trying to figure out how you can get Zach Levine. Or the Sixers. If you one of those teams, y'all really could have used a dude like honestly Miami
shoot.
could have used him too.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If Miami had Zach, that's a whole
Well,
different.
honestly, the Lakers even too. Like it's a lot of
Yeah,
teams where people talk about Zach, but if you threw, I've watched the playoffs. I'm like, if you threw him as like the third guy on one of these teams, he would be awesome in this
man.
in this role because he can get buckets. Period. Nobody can deny that,
Right. Dragic,
and he's a
Zach.
good shooter.
Hold up. If you had Dragic, Zach, Jimmy, uh,
Oh, that would have been tough.
oh my God.
That would have been tough because then Jimmy could do what he's doing
Yeah,
without the pressure of having to score every night, and Zach could score without having to worry about making plays for nobody. Just
yeah.
score, Zach. You don't have to play make.
Because Dragic is setting everybody up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have been sick, man.
That's why we just gotta get somebody to make plays. So Zach and Kobe, they can just do what they do.
So
Which
you would like to see a point forward, them draft a point.
either a point, they don't have to draft one. Like, I'm not saying you gotta
I'll
draft
bring
Denny
one in.
because of
Yeah,
this, but I wouldn't be mad if they did because of that, because he does make plays. But I honestly, I'd rather they just run through Wendell. That's what I think they should do, is run their offense through Wendell, and all these guys play off of him. Have him at the elbow somewhere, and guys are cutting or moving whatever, and he doing handoffs and rolling or whatever it is, like Bam does, or like Jokic. Jokic is a different story, but I mean on a lesser level. Obviously, he can't pass like Jokic, but he is an unselfish and a good passer. But they do not use Wendell like that at all. So it's just like they could do that, and Zach and Kobe could start, and they could just score and not have to worry about all of that, because everything would be running through Wendell. Or it would be nice if they got a forward though who could do that too. Like that
yeah.
would be really
If they
nice.
got a point forward, that would be
A
nice. Yeah,
point forward would be real nice.
yeah. Now Wendell's been rumor has it been working on his low post game and his mid range.
I've seen some workouts.
Yeah,
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 it looks good.
yeah.
He's working with Jimmy's old trainer.
Oh, that's good then, because Jimmy they turned Jimmy into a
They
scorer, man.
turned Jimmy into a monster.
Yeah,
Jimmy turned himself into a monster, but yeah, they helped him get there for sure. But he looked good. I mean, it's a workout, but he looked good. He got to stay healthy. It's just, you know, he's got to stay healthy. And Wendell's problem is up here. And I think that was Boylan, because I
I
don't
think
remember that being a thing when he first got here and he was playing under Hoiberg.
well you
Once
I
Boylan
say the
took
same
over,
thing. I can say the same thing about Lowry.
it was like he wouldn't even look at the basket and all that stuff. I'm like, what is going on?
I could say the same thing about Lowry. Lowry didn't have that problem
Lowry didn't have that
on
problem
the
with him.
Hoiberg.
No,
Yeah.
he was
Oh.
real good. Yeah,
And
he
then
was a young star in the making.
Boylan comes in and tell them, well, we're not going to run the offense through you. We want you to get more rebounds.
So it's just bad. But
Uh, and then ain't no telling what he told Wendell, but he told, but so he and
that man would not look at the basket.
matter of fact, Laurie was so pissed off. I don't know if you remember the rumors over the summer and the end of last season. He was talking about getting out of here.
Mm, I don't remember, but I remember like Wendell not even looking at the hoop. I just remember him like, I'm like, dude, turn around.
Right,
Nobody's in front
nobody's
of you.
on you. You're right there. No,
Like,
no, no. We got a minimum. Here's balling. We got a minimum of 3 passes before we shoot.
oh man, I hope he wasn't saying that. And see, that's the thing. At least Billy Donovan is competent, man. When I listen to him talk, he's competent. That's all I care about right now. Because Boylan was so bad. Like in years past, people would bring up coaches, and I'd be like, nah, no, no, no. Like I didn't want this person or that person. It got to the point where I was like, I really just get this dude out of here. It's like with Trump. It's like, okay, just get this dude out of here, man. And
Get some normalcy.
whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not no big Biden guy, but just get this dude out of here, man.
get, get,
you
get
know?
some sanity up in here. Yeah, and that's what
Yeah.
the Bulls need. Some sanity. They needed some
Yeah.
sanity too, because the dude. I remember when we first heard about the punch clock. Man, that was so funny. And I'm like, he got these dudes clocking in.
It's terrible. It's terrible. What
It was funny, yeah. And
we
I
talked
think
about
you know
all
what
this.
I know what I said, and I typed it out. I'm glad I just remembered
I'm glad you did this.
because there's a lot of stuff to type out. God, one of the things I think um, the All Star game was a blessing in disguise, and
Mm,
we were like feeling some kind of way because we got the All Star game in Chicago, and we stuck them and stuff, and but what happened was the national media focused on Chicago,
right.
and they like this is ridiculous. This shouldn't be the case. Y'all ain't.
But nobody in the Bulls got nobody in the All Star game. They're terrible.
And they would interview Zach, and they were asking Zach questions, and Charleston was like, "Man, this is terrible." You know how Charles talk, and
Yeah.
um, and Zach was trying not to say a whole lot, so he would just laugh. You know what I'm saying? And but I think that was a blessing in disguise because the national media they ate they ate Paxton them a new one, and Reinsor he got it too,
Yeah.
and there was no excuse for it. So um, that forced them to, and I think that forced the ownership. I think ownership was hurt. I think
Yeah,
they
they
forced,
probably were.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think they forced ownership to say, you know what, we've been doing this for how long, and we ain't got nothing to show for it. We've
You
been,
know what's messed up though?
we've been
uh,
letting these dudes ride all this time. We ain't got nothing to show for it.
yeah, that's a long time. You know, the funny thing is, Reinsdorf owns the White Sox too, right? The
Hmm.
baseball team, and I think he cleaned house over there too, if I'm not mistaken. They
Hmm.
fired the coach, and I think they, you know, cleaned house, which is good. They probably needed it too. I don't follow the White Sox, but you know,
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, they had, and I've chronicled my issues with um um
Reinsdorf.
Tibbs,
Um,
but then you gonna fire Tibbs and bring in Hoiberg. I mean, he was like there were people outside of Chicago, other fans of teams that like they were laughing. They're like Fred Hoiberg, like I mean, you're gonna fire Tibbs and you're gonna bring in Hoiberg. What is this? So that was some nepotism and
it was.
Watch, I don't have my understanding that was Gar's big thing. That was Gar's friend. He should have
Yeah.
been fired after when Hoiberg got fired. Gar should have been right there, right behind him.
hmm And that's what I said about Boylan, because that was Paxton's thing. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, when Boylan is out, he should be out too.
he should be out too. Bye.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but if they
Um,
didn't have a regime change,
yeah,
uh, Paxton would still be here doing the
he'll
same
still
stuff,
be there. It's
making the
terrible.
same dumb decisions. Keeping Boylan around, and he was gonna keep that dude around for another 3 or 4 years, man.
Yeah, I feel like the Bulls season was a big disappointment. I came into it thinking that they would be fighting for the eighth spot, and at some point they were kind of in
They
that
were,
mix.
yeah. But then
But
Boylan
then it
took
was just
over.
like, man, this is bad. All the injuries started happening again, and it's like the same old thing was happening. Back
I
to the
think,
seventh
yeah.
seventh odds to get the seventh pick or whatever.
Well, it's a
They
good thing
lucky.
they didn't. It's a good thing they
Yeah,
didn't get to the eighth because if they'd have got that eighth slot,
yeah,
we'd be stuck with those fools.
yeah,
Even if
yeah. That's probably true.
they got trounced in the first round, we'd be stuck with them. Nothing would have changed, and they still be talking that woo 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 and keeping balling around, and the players be pissed off and be asking for trades.
Yeah,
So get me out of here, because I know Thad. I kind of saw Thad was kind of like, "Can y'all fool me, man? What your
yeah,
this
yeah.
dude got
That
me out
was a
here playing?
bad. Yeah,
This dude got me out here doing this stupid
that was bad because he got a reputation for being very professional and stuff.
shit.
So for him to be like, man, y'all need to get me up out of here is not good.
What,
Not good at all.
what this dude doing, man? So I'm pretty sure he's happy now. Obviously, Laurie done let it be known when Ballin was out of here. He was like, on Twitter, so and then and then Zach was like, hey, we told Ballin, hey, thanks for your service, basically. It was kind of funny, but yeah, the Donovan hire, they were pretty happy about that. But yeah, man, this has been like you said, it's been a weird season. Um, but through that we've got a coaching change, we've got a regime change. The guy's going about rebuilding this. This is he want to evaluate players and see what he's got, and it'd be interesting to see what additions he makes if he's in the draft. What day you said the draft was?
I think I said it was November 18th,
Okay, so that'll work then. Yeah,
which is not too far away, really. What is today? About a month now, right?
yeah, which will fly
Yeah,
by. Yeah, that'll fly.
it'll fly by. Um, yeah, so we'll have to do it again for draft time for
Yeah,
sure. What's I gonna say? Something about the Bulls season in general. It's just like I said, I was just so disappointed. I think a lot of it was just boiling. It just messed up the whole season for me, and I stopped really caring about it. Like I don't really want to even watch because he was just ridiculous. And then even listening to him, it was just bad. And then people got hurt. I think Wendell, like it was nothing for me to look forward to except Kobe White playing at the end.
oh yeah, you remember that game? I don't know, was it Wendell got hurt and he wouldn't call timeout?
That was Gafford laying on the ground.
Okay, and a national. I don't know who was. I think it was at a national game.
I think it was because
They was
I
like, how
don't know,
come
but
this?
I remember like I think it was Rick Carlisle called the
Whoever it was, they
timeout.
were like, how come
He
this
was
guy won't
mad.
call a timeout? And the other coach
Yeah,
called timeout.
yeah. Rick Carlisle was like, "Damn, man, call a timeout. This dude is laying on the floor and people going back and forth. Like, what are you doing?
The other coach had to call a timeout because you too stupid to call a timeout.
It's just terrible. I'm just so glad he's gone.
But then you would waste a timeout at the end of the game.
That's just a joke. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So, this new regime, you can tell that they really do have authority to do what they want to do because
Yeah, it
things are
appears
really
so. Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Not only is it different because they let go of people and stuff that had years on the contract and all of that, which was surprising. But even like this scrimmage bubble thing and all of that, like I don't know that Garpax would have done that. And even if they did, we wouldn't be seeing it online and stuff. Like they've been more open with stuff. You know, they're
No.
doing their little interviews and press conferences and going on podcasts more and all of that and showing the whole scrimmage online somewhere. I didn't watch it, but it's like 20 something, 30 minutes
Yeah,
of scrimmage.
the bubble scrimmage wouldn't ever have happened,
No.
especially without the coach being here.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what they do with the draft stuff. Well, I don't know because you probably want to have these workouts or whatever like you normally would.
Do we have a second round this year?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, good.
But not ours. It's like somebody else's.
Something
It's not
like
where it should be, which would be high. It's like 40 something. Because we
okay.
gave ours away to somebody for some stupid reason.
Right.
Because they never valued second round picks. I don't know why. And here we got one of them who's in the rotation last year.
Right. Cash considerations. We
And people always complain about that. Oh, Jordan Bell, whatever. It's not a. I keep trying to tell them it's not about Jordan
It's not
Bell.
about Jordan. It's a
It's
principle.
not him. It's the fact that you had the opportunity to add another player, at that pick, and you just gave it away for nothing,
For some cash.
for some cash. That player didn't have to be Jordan Bell. But the fact that they were like, well, there's nobody else that we saw on our board, their board dried up or something.
How you know?
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Because personally, I like Dylan Brooks. At that point, I was like, oh, well, Dylan Brooks is there, and they need a wing. And Dylan Brooks is playing well for Memphis now.
That's my point. Some of these second rounds are playing good. Yeah.
I didn't think he would be that good, but I thought, man, this guy can play in the NBA. Like, why don't we pick a dude like that?
My point is, you get draft picks for a reason.
Yeah, use them. Or if you're going to trade them for something. Don't just give them away for cash. That's crazy. They don't need no cash.
Yeah.
Cash. That pissed me off. But that's why people don't understand why I'm mad about it. Well, some of us are mad about it. It's not about that. It's about the fact that why do they need cash for? They don't need any more cash. this team worth billions of dollars. Yeah. They traded away here. We don't need no more players.
Some of the guys back and say, look how Jordan Bell played in the finals and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's not really about that.
It's not him. It said you punted away the opportunity to select somebody at that pick. It didn't have to be Jordan Bell. In fact, I didn't really care if I wouldn't want it to be him necessarily. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And actually, even with Jordan Bell, he isn't terrible. He's a
not
defender.
Terrible. But my thing was at the time, we needed someone who could defend the paint.
We did. Yeah, we actually did need somebody like him. Athletic,
someone like him coming in off the bench that can play defense. What the hell are you doing?
By the way, Jordan Bell is also working with Jimmy's trainer, and I saw some of his clips.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not interested in it.
Yeah,
because his trainer be posting those clips of Jordan Bell. I'm like, dude, Jordan Bell again. I don't care what he's doing, but he looks better. But I'm just like, whatever. I don't care.
But if he improves his game, good for him.
But good for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Taj Gibson too. He's working with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my point is that these guys, like you said, you got these picks for a reason, man. Yeah. So hopefully them days are long gone. Because
hopefully that's over.
They used to frustrate me so bad, man. I'm like, what is wrong with these dudes, man?
Now you're just giving away. We don't care about that. Here, take the pick. What are you doing?
You got one draft pick then.
Yeah. And if you don't hit that pick, then what? Like now, at least you got who did they pick last year? Kobe White. So they got 2 hits. They got Kobe White and Gafford.
Good picks.
Good picks.
I give Pax his due on that one.
But they don't just give it away. Just imagine that. Oh, we don't
imagine. Right. Imagine trading Gafford for some cash.
Oh, just give him away for no reason.
Nah, I'd have been done with that one.
But And that's how you got to look at it. Like you traded away that opportunity to pick somebody who could have been in your rotation for nothing. So, what's his name? This year they have, like I said, 40 something. There's still going to be a guy that can be decent
Yeah,
at
it's a guy
that
that
pick.
can help your team.
It's going to be a
Somebody
guy
you
who
can
can help
develop.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah. If
that's
worst case scenario, draft on some guy that you can stash overseas or something and see if they get better. If not, okay. But
you're gonna
don't
always
just
in the second round. You're always drafting guys with upside.
yeah.
You know where he's got a
Or
lot.
guys who can come in and play right away. Like maybe some of them. It's going to be some of them seniors that drop to the second round.
Yeah,
You know,
and they got the experience. So because they played
yeah,
4 years of college, you know, where they don't have all the hype. You know,
yeah,
but and then too, a lot of them they have a chip on their shoulder, so they have something to prove.
they
No,
do.
look, I done paid my dues. I done played 4 years of college, and you gonna skip over me?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I'm looking at this draft board. Man, this is a dude named Malachi Flynn that they have saying that it's going 48. The Bulls got the 44th pick. I'm telling you, Malachi Flynn can hoop. Malachi Flynn is a senior. He can hoop. Well, he's actually a junior, but he can hoop for sure. But that's neither here nor there. The point is,
They
you'll
can
be
pick
able to get
somebody.
a player. Yeah,
Somebody can be available. Yeah, and
yeah.
now we're gonna find out how good a tourist is. Now that he's calling
Mhm.
all the shots, because I don't think he called all the shots in Denver, did he? Obviously, he did.
No, no, he was just
Assistant.
the main guy was
Yeah,
Connolly or something.
yeah.
This is the other thing about this new regime. They have really bulked up the front office. It's not just like garden packs like it was here. I mean, they had like a real. They didn't have the type of staff you should have. The
Right.
scouts and all of that. They just didn't.
Yeah.
And they really
God was the
got
scout.
Arturis, Mark Eversley. Yeah, right. Mark Eversley. Uh, they hired another dude from Denver and a couple other guys. They got some guys now, that's going to be up in there making evaluating stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. You're right. They sent Red around it, and for the Bulls, God was a scout. Remember, we used to talk about him going. He didn't want to go to Europe last year. Remember that?
yeah, was it Doncic? Wait, what was, it was something on. Yeah, the Bulls were one of the only teams that didn't send nobody, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Dude, like your team is horrible. You should be trying to turn over every stone to find players. Like you can't just sit there and be like, "All right, we ain't nobody out there." Like, what are you doing? I shouldn't be thinking about this more than y'all. Like y'all, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, you go look. You know what else you do? That's your job. Go look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go and look. You never know what you're gonna see. I remember John Morant talking about how uh, the way he got recruited is some people came to look at some other players. They didn't come looking for him. Some dude said he just so happened, dude from Murray State, he just so happened to go to some other off gym. I think he was getting a hot dog or looking at a soda machine, whatever. And he saw a dude in there. Man, he was like, "Man, who is that?"
Who was the kid? Yeah.
And it was John Morant, and he
Yeah.
got a scholarship out of that.
There you
So
go.
it's like, man, you never know. You better be looking everywhere you can for these dudes.
Your eyes are always open. Your head is always on a swivel because you just never know who you might run across. You might run across an unknown player who can ball but just don't get the recognition. And
Yeah,
there's a lot of them out there. They and
yeah,
some of them are hood stars as we call it, but they don't have that national recognition. And
yeah,
boom, you know, you bring them in and boom, So I'm excited, man. Again, I'm a little concerned because of COVID how
yeah,
everything's going to work out. But
yeah,
as far as the organization itself, I am excited to see what direction they're going to go in and who's going to draft. Uh, uh,
yeah. I'm very excited to see what they do. I want to see what they do with the roster. It's not a lot of room here on the roster, but I think they're probably going to pretty much keep the roster the same
now
and
watch, now
just
watch, now watch. What's his name? Stay healthy this year.
who is that?
Otto.
Otto. He better. He's trying to get paid next year.
All
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the best shape of his life.
right.
That's another thing. You get people in their contract here. They usually really hoop.
Yeah, they hoop out, they blow,
Yeah,
they nice out. So here's a scenario I brought up, and I don't know how you feel. I think I do, but so another one of Curtis's proposal was to bring Nico back as a backup power forward.
Oh, I was just scrolled and saw that, but I didn't read anything.
And I was saying, some of the guys hating on him. I'm saying, hey man, you guys, I don't know what soured you guys on Nico. I mean, he was never going to be a superstar. If somebody hyped him up as that would never that wasn't his fault.
Right.
But he played well under Tibbs. He did okay on a
Yeah.
Hort. He did okay on a Hoiberg, and but then they traded him. And my point is that when him and Bobby had that fight, and he came back, he lit it up, man.
He sure as hell did. He played like a superstar then. In
Yeah.
fact, even when he got traded, he was killing for New Orleans. That's
Yeah.
how they beat
My
him and
point,
Ron.
my point is with his skill set, someone as big as he is, who can play the 4 and the 5, who can shoot, having him coming off your bench, man, who can come in and stretch a defense if need be. Why would you not want that? Because of what? I don't, So I mean, if you get somebody better, great. But I mean, if he's available, why would you not?
You know what it is, J Mac. So this is the problem.
Go
A
ahead.
lot of the guys, they this is the way they look at basketball. They feel like, oh, if this guy's not like a star, then like what's the point in going after him? As if there's not like all kinds of other parts of a team that you need besides the superstars.
Yeah, you got
You
to
know what
fill
I'm
your
saying?
roster. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's just like, well, what we need from him, he's not going to be able to make a difference. Like, he'll make some difference because he can play.
he can
I just want
solidify your
guys who can
bench.
play. Nico can
Yeah,
play. I'm not, I know a lot of people don't like Nico, but
he can solidify your bench.
I wouldn't be mad at Nico coming back. I don't know if he would want to, but we got a whole new regime. Maybe he would. I
Yeah,
don't
he might not be opposed to that, especially Artur. Now, where's Arturis from? Because he got to
Arthur's
actually,
from Lithuania, I think.
so he can probably speak
Yeah, I
Nico's
mean,
language.
he got a lot of connections over there. Maybe
Yeah,
Nico would be
yeah,
comfortable coming back. Who
yeah. He
knows?
might be comfortable coming back and say, "Hey, we got a spot on our bench."
I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised he went back overseas.
I think
Because I thought he would have been on a team like Port. I've been wanting him to go to the Trailblazers for years.
there were teams
Like,
that
man, he would.
there were teams that wanted to sign him. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm sure.
I don't know if he was frustrated because of the way the Bucks. I don't know how the Bucks situation went.
Oh,
Um,
that was
huh?
he was coming off the bench. That was a weird situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
he
So maybe that just kind
like
of turned him
Portland and
off.
started. That's before they got Carmelo. He could have started on Portland Trailblazers. I don't know. He should have been on that team.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Maybe he got soured on the NBA because of the Bucks. I don't know. But a fresh start. He done went home. He done built his stock back up because he's obviously over there dominating. And could come back and be a backup if he's willing to do that. Say, hey, we can, okay, Laurie need a blow, and here comes Nico.
did
That's,
they play together? Yeah, they did,
they
didn't they?
played for
For
a
a
minute,
little
yeah.
while.
They
Yeah.
played for a minute, yeah. And so I don't know, man. I just again, these guys. If I'm not pushing for them to do it, but if they do it, hey, I'm cool with it.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah,
He's a good player, so I'm not mad at you adding any good players. you
right.
know
It's not like he's a
what I'm saying?
bum. That's the point.
No, if he was a
Yeah,
bum, right? Yeah, I feel like if you can't get superstars, if you don't have a superstar, honestly, it's funny that we got our tourists because for the last couple of years, I've been looking at Denver and saying like, that's going to be a really good team for some years to come. But they didn't build it with like free agents and all of this
he
stuff.
built
They
through his
built it
draft.
through the
Yeah,
draft and making trades and stuff. And I'm like, that's the model we got to go after because we can't get these superstar free agents to come here. Fine, then we need to make good trades, get assets in the draft and development. That's huge because Denver does that. Develop these guys and get a good coach in here, and
look, man.
we could be a good team
I
too.
know exactly what you're saying. But if New York, Brooklyn can get 2 stars, so can we. We just need to get things back on track.
Yeah, we do. But see,
Yeah.
my point is like you can't make that a strategy.
No, no,
I
no,
don't,
no, no. That shouldn't be
you
your
know,
main focus.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can't be like
yeah.
Brooklyn wasn't doing that as a strategy.
No,
Brooklyn developing guys
right.
and like
And that's
them
how they
guys really was
attracted.
developing, and just
Yeah,
so happened that they were good enough that Kyrie and them wanted to come. But
yeah. That's how you
like
attract
the
stars.
Knicks strategy is just trying to get free agents.
Right.
They're not. Yeah. So yeah,
And that's why they fail major because that's all they do.
yeah.
They try to go after the big
They're
dogs.
just
And
trying to. They're trying
yeah,
to be like the Yankees, but that's not going to work in the Knicks. So
yeah. Because number one, the Yankees, Major League Baseball doesn't have a salary cap, so
right. So they can
NBA
just
does.
outpay people. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't just go out and sign any and everybody you want to sign in the NBA,
Right.
without any major penalties. So I agree with you. The Nets they didn't try to. I mean, because remember the former GM had the Nets in a hole. I mean, he gave
Yeah,
up
he was terrible.
all those
Yeah,
assets for those two old dudes,
he
Paul
was
Pierce and
terrible.
I know, and I was laughing when I even heard
For
about
so
it.
many years, they were giving up their
Yeah, man,
picks.
I was like, why in the world? So Danny Ainge had all these picks, man.
He
I think he
wasted
still
those
got
picks.
some left, don't he?
I don't know, but he wasted so many of them. But yeah,
And I'm like, man, you're
he got
crazy.
Jason
So
Tatum, so that's good. But and
yeah,
Jalen Brown out of this stuff, but
yeah. Well,
he
but the
wasted a
point,
lot of picks.
but whoever came in and took over, they turned the Nets around, man. Got back in the draft
Yeah, Sean Marks and them. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
and they got some assets and they got some draft picks back and they started getting players around and
What
boom.
they did with Spencer Dinwiddie alone is just crazy. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not just him; it's other guys they developed. But like Joe Harris became a good player. He
Can you
was. I
imagine
don't even
Dinwiddie?
know if he got drafted. I don't even remember.
Can you imagine if Dinwiddie was still here? He was the starting
I,
point,
don't
man.
get me started on that. Me and Adrian, don't get us started because when that happened, I was like, and this is why I was starting to say this a little while ago. So back then, a lot of the guys in the group they're gonna be like, "Well, Spencer Dinwiddie, who is he? He's not a difference maker, right?" They
I
were
saw what
probably
he could do.
saying that.
I saw
Yeah,
what he could do. See, I
yeah,
look
but
at
you got to look at can he play or not? Not like is he a star? Can he play? And you could look at him and see, okay, this guy can play. He can
anybody.
help the
This
team.
is what I don't understand, David. Some of these guys, and I ain't trying to call them out, but I don't think some of these guys play ball.
No, they
They-
couldn't have.
Game
Or if they
recognized
do,
game. Am I
if
wrong?
yeah, yeah. And if they did play, maybe they just I don't know, but
Game recognized game.
right.
If you play ball, you can see who can play
This
ball.
dude can play. Like, okay, this guy can play.
He
The
might
only
not be
problem he had when he was with the Bulls, he
yeah,
could play. He
yeah.
could really. I'm like, this dude can play. He just didn't have a great jumper. That was it. And the Nets didn't help him. He got a trainer who I also be
Help them shoot
following,
on the
but
shooting. Yeah, man. So you
he
got guys
really worked
who
on it.
yeah, you got guys who got potential. That's why I say Hutch got potential.
He
Hutch can,
does, and that's another one.
yeah, Hutch can
That
ball.
jumper, man, you get a jumper. He can play. It's just he doesn't have a jumper.
Yeah.
And when he get that, and it's not terrible. It's just not
It's not
consistent.
consistent.
And
It's
when he
not
get a
consistent.
jumper, man, I really wish some of these guys I could just talk to
He
them.
just like Jimmy was, just like Jimmy was.
Yeah, and the only thing he needs is a switch in his mentality. If
Yeah.
he had that and he said, you know what, I can play with these dudes and I can do this and just believe that he could do it if he
Oh,
really
you know what?
thought like that.
I think he kind of did get that last year.
Yeah.
He just wasn't getting to play much because of the injuries.
I hope so because he can do that. He has the tools. I know they like when they first started calling Jimmy buckets. Jimmy was averaging like 12 points a game. He really wasn't getting
You know who's
buckets.
calling him that? You know who
I
was
know,
calling
but I'm
him
just
that.
saying it seems stupid then. Like, why are we calling him buckets? He don't even get
That was
buckets.
Stacy doing
But
that.
like he took that to heart and he really started believing he could get buckets. And I think, like they called Hudson Young Pip. It sounds ridiculous, but when you look at him physically, you could see
You can
he
see
could
something.
be like that if he
What
really worked.
people forget how raw Pippen was when he
Pippen
got.
was very raw.
Thank
Pippen was
you,
very raw.
thank you,
Pippen was very raw, and he went to school for 4 years, and he
thank
still
you,
came in raw.
thank you. Because matter of
He
fact,
didn't look like he was going to be a difference maker when he came in the league.
hold up. If and let's even quantify it even more than that, David. Pippen was a assistant coach. He started out as assistant coach in college.
Oh, manager or something. Yeah, team manager, washing the clothes and stuff.
Right, water boy or something. So he then at some point, I don't know. I guess they looked at him in practice and said, "Wait a minute, I think this dude might be able to play." And they
I think he
gave him
grew.
and they gave him
That's
a
what happened.
uniform. Yeah,
Yeah, he grew like 6 inches. Yeah,
yeah. So my point is, they drafted Pippen. Pippen was raw.
he was raw.
He had to be groomed. Hutch got some of the same quality, some of the same athleticism. All he has to do
He
is
plays. This is the thing about
work
Hutchinson.
on his shooting.
Chandler Hutchison is an NBA defender.
Yes, now that I believe
He's an NBA defender,
already.
like right now.
Yeah,
And he came in able to guard guys. I'm not saying he's shutting everybody down, but I'm saying
he can
he can
defend.
play NBA defense.
Yeah,
He's an NBA athlete. In transition, he's a monster.
right.
He just can't shoot consistently. If he could do that one thing, and that is the one thing you can improve on, the one thing I'm confident that literally I could help him with, or anybody who knows how to shoot can help a person get better at shooting, because all it is technique and
It's technique.
repetition.
That's
And
it.
then once you repeat it over and over, and then you get confidence,
Yeah,
he'll be able to shoot. I don't know
technique.
what's taking him so long, but eventually it'll start clicking, I
It's
think.
the consistency and the technique because
Yeah.
I found myself even when sometimes I'll be off and I'm like, what am I doing? And I would question myself, what am I doing wrong? I don't miss these many shots. And then I would
Right.
start looking at my technique. Oh, I'm not
Mhm.
flicking my wrist like I
No.
normally would.
Yeah.
You know, and boom.
And this is the thing, like, as a person, as a player, right? Once I learned the technique and I used to work on it and work on it and work on it. Now, I was never a consistent shooter either, but I consider myself a good shooter, but I was never consistent. And that's only because I didn't put all the work in that I should have
That
to
you should
become
have.
that.
Right.
Like, to be a great shooter, you got to really put a lot of
You
work
got to
in.
put a lot of shots up
To be a great
in
shooter,
practice.
like, yeah. So I was streaky. Like, I get hot and I shoot. But like, even now, if I'm missing, because I do a lot of work with kids and stuff, training and stuff. If I'm missing when I'm messing around with them, I'm like, man, what was I doing? Like, I can adjust and do it. But one thing is, I never think I'm about to miss. I don't think this shot ain't gonna make it, or I'm not confident shooting this shot.
No,
I
I don't
never
think that
think
either.
like that,
I don't.
ever.
Now I
And
used to.
that, and that's why I
Yeah,
think some of it is mental.
yeah. I
Like,
don't think that
you got to
either.
get that confidence to be like, all right, I missed that, but this one is going in. Like, I
Every
noticed,
time I.
like, Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
If you Marcus Smart in the playoffs this year, he was a terrible shooter when he came in, and he's improved a lot. And he's improved to the point now where he's super confident. It's a little bit too much. It's almost like, okay, dude, like, slow down because he's shooting a lot. But you can see he's confident. You can see he's not deterred when he misses a shot. He's like, okay, well, I missed, but this one getting ready to go up because I'm open.
Hey, I missed that
So
one, but the next one I got
the
this.
next one is going down, and that's how shooters think,
Right.
and
But
that's
see that.
where
But see.
Hutchison and them guys got to get that type of mentality.
But see, you play ball and you recognize game, and you can
Yeah,
see it in him. And
I see the talent is there,
I mean, I see the raw talent in Gap.
and he got dimes. Remember when the summer league, what was that, last year or the year before? I don't know. It was a summer league. He was dimes.
Yeah, he can.
I
He
was like,
can.
okay,
He can pass the ball. And I could say the same thing about Gafford. You talking about athleticism.
oh,
He
he's
got
definitely athletic.
people. We didn't get to see it a lot, but he's got low post skills.
He can get a little jump hook, and he
Yeah, he
definitely
got
gonna
low
dunk.
post skills.
He definitely gonna dunk.
And so
Uh,
he perfect if he can perfect his little. We don't need him to shoot threes, but if he can get his little mid range going, his little 10-footer going,
yeah.
hey man, they won't be able to stop that dude, man. He'd be like Barkley down there, you
You gotta
know?
get stronger too. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The only dude on the team that I really just can't play is Felicio. Like, he's the only one who just
right,
can't play. It
right.
was like, this dude shouldn't even be here. Like,
Right.
can't play. Because
He
Arch can play. He's just, he is what he is, but
he
he
can
can play.
play. He can play when he's used in the right place. As a matter
Yeah, he
of
can
fact,
play.
did you see Denzel? Denzel can play when he's used right.
Denzel can play. Yeah, he
Yeah,
can play.
if
He's
you
not
got
a
him
bomb.
coming
People
in,
say he's a bomb. He's not a bomb. He can
he's not a
play.
bum, but he can come in and stretch your defense. You need him somebody come off the bench. You need 10 points in the next 5 minutes. He can do that. He can
He
come in,
knows how to play the
come in
game
and
and
throw up three threes.
passing,
Yeah,
rebounding, all of that. He's just a bad defender.
yeah.
But other than that, like, he's not athletic and stuff. But
No,
he knows how to play.
he knows how to play. He can help your bench. I mean, like I said, you need someone to come in and stress the defense. He's your guy.
Did you see he's rapping? I don't know if you saw
No,
this.
I ain't.
I saw a video. This dude is rapping, man. It
Is
was
he serious or he just clowning?
he's serious.
Mm.
He's
Who
serious.
is he going off on his haters?
I don't know. He was talking
Uh,
about chicks in this rap, I heard.
oh, good for
It
him.
really wasn't that bad. I was like, oh, that's not bad. I'm surprised.
Oh, what did you make? Speaking of which, what did you make out of LeBron yelling, "Give me my damn respect"? Hey,
It's crazy. I don't
you know what I
understand why
told? Because I'm in I'm in that other group, and the people who've been the
They talk
hardest.
about LeBron all the time in that
Well,
group.
here's the thing: the people who've been the hardest on him this year are Lakers fans, and it
Hmm.
was the same thing last year. So
They were really hard on him
I
last year.
told
Yeah,
them, I said he talking to Laker fans, he ain't talking to us, because y'all.
that's probably right. Yeah,
And they like,
that's
no,
probably
I
true.
said, no, 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 don't try that, because y'all said y'all been dogging that dude ever since he signed with the Lakers, and he even admitted, he said, LeBron said, well, Lakers fans, they like, you can come here, you can talk, you can be about it, you can have all this resume, but until you win as a Laker, it don't mean nothing,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
he won now.
Right? And I said, yeah, I said, so he was talking to y'all now, so y'all give him respect. He ain't talking to us.
Right.
He
A lot of
talking,
people still hate LeBron. I don't hate LeBron, man.
he
I
talking to
stopped.
y'all, and he talking to like, Skip Bayless, but he ain't talking to
I
us.
don't even root against LeBron anymore. I used to do it when he was going against the Bulls. Like I stopped doing that when he left Miami. I
When he
just
went
like
back to
okay.
Cleveland, I didn't
When
care
I
no
got
more.
back to Cleveland, I didn't care anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
I
I
didn't
was
care
like,
no more.
okay, well, that's cool. But
Yeah.
when he did that Miami Heat, that's the only time I actually really hated LeBron.
And
Is that little.
only time I actually rooted for him to win, I kind of rooted for him to win was when Golden State won 73 games.
Yeah, I wanted them to
I was like,
lose.
oh hell with
I
them.
definitely wanted them to lose. Yes, absolutely. I was happy that he won that
Yeah,
one.
I was like, the hell with them.
I just, I don't even participate in these debates anymore at all because I think it's stupid and I don't feel like it's fair to LeBron at all to keep trying to bring up this Jordan stuff because he's never going to be Jordan.
Well, you
He's
know who's
just
doing
not, and
that,
he's not
though.
even that kind of player. He's just different.
It's two
It's
people
two
that's
different.
doing that.
Oh,
It's
the ESPN and Fox.
yeah, it's the LeBron haters that's doing
Yeah,
that, and then it's the LeBronettes. I call them the Bron coattail draggers.
yeah.
Them two factions are always going at it, and they always bringing up Jordan. You know,
Always bringing up
it don't
Jordan.
matter what is going on, Jordan name is gonna come up
I
some.
mean, have you ever listened to LeBron talk about this? LeBron gives Jordan all kinds of. I
Yeah,
mean, come on, man. LeBron loves Jordan. He looked up to Mike.
yeah.
I don't even know why they keep having this conversation.
It's not.
LeBron will tell you, "Look, man, I'm not Mike. Like this is, you know,
I mean, let's keep it real. He's what now? 4-7.
is he 4-7, 4-6?
No, he's 4-7.
Has he been 11 times?
I think so. Let me look and make sure.
No, because he was 3-6. So he's 4-6. Yeah,
He's 4-6.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, and Mike's 6-0. So let's just find another conversation.
I am impressed that every year he's been in the finals damn near. That's pretty impressive. And honestly, the thing about LeBron is he I always kept saying they need to wait until his career is over before we start trying to talk about where he is. But people try to make him the GOAT too early. A lot of it is driven by other people. It's not really him.
No, it's
It's
not him.
like
Yeah,
all
I
these
don't
other
think it's him
people
either.
trying to elevate him. And who was that? Sean, I don't know if he's still he posted something from Vincent Goodwill, John's boy, Vincent Goodwill. um what Vincent Goodwill made a lot of good points. Like a lot of people who do this, they try to suppress Jordan's greatness, which I had never really thought about, but
They
they do.
do,
They try to make it seem like, oh, downplay Jordan's greatness
so they can
in order
elevate
to
LeBron.
elevate LeBron instead of
Yeah,
just letting it stand on his own.
I deal with that every time, every week in the other group. Um, I They always trying to downplay Jordan. Oh, that's where the whole they ain't had no
He played
competition.
against janitors and all this
Yeah,
crazy
they had no
stuff.
competition in the '80s and the '90s and blah blah blah. And and so I had to go through that thing. Now the Lakers fans used to do that a lot, but I didn't shut them down because what I started hitting them with was that the Lakers didn't have no competition in the West in the '80s.
They used to run through the West. You're right.
Right, right. But I said in the East, you had all the teams in the East.
You know what? They really did not have any
Oh
real
man, they
good
had no competition
teams.
in the West.
And
And
the Mavs and who else was out
every
there?
now and then,
Phoenix. None of
every
them
now and
guys.
then, the
The Rockets
Mavs,
would get in there, but yeah, the Lakers used to run through the Nuggets. They used to run through
Blazers,
all
all
of
of them.
them teams.
Yeah,
The Blazers.
man.
You're right.
So
They didn't have any real. The East was a war every
the
year.
East
Like
was a war. You had the Celtics, you had the
because the Celtics
Pistons.
could and the Sixers, they were like when I first started watching ball, it was them. Milwaukee Bucks was good.
Bucks, all those teams were
The
good. The
Hawks,
Cavs were good.
the
Remember?
Cavs, it was some,
Yeah,
the Knicks, of course, became
Pistons.
good.
Yeah. So you had all the teams in the East that were beating each other up,
Yeah.
and
Now
then you had the Lakers.
you had the Lakers just sitting there waiting on them.
and so I kind of shut the Lakers fans down with that, but they'll try to sneak it in every now and then. But usually it's a LeBron fan here and there that try to downplay, the '90s. Jordan didn't have no competition. I'm like, you guys just got through watching the Last Dance, so stop lying to yourselves.
Yeah. You know what? I was listening to Sam, Sam Smith, that writes for the
Hmm.
whatever, bulls.com or whatever. He they were talking about this type of stuff, and he started talking about Oscar Robertson. I don't know exactly why he brought up Oscar, but he said Oscar, like LeBron, was more like that
Yeah, he is. He more
out of
like
out of guys that he's trying to compare him to in history or whatever. He was more like Oscar than like Jordan in compare.
yeah,
And the funny thing about Oscar is when he retired, he was an all-time leading scorer. Like a lot of people don't talk about that, but he
yeah,
was actually the all-time leading scorer when he retired, and then Wilt passed him. But um, uh, I know at least two or three old heads that are alive that still say he's the greatest player they ever saw.
yeah.
And so my thing is, if I didn't see the dude, I don't really have any comment.
I can't trash him. No.
I can't trash him.
Now I have
To
gone. I have
me,
gone.
I don't have him as the GOAT because I
No, I
didn't
don't.
see him.
Right.
But I can't tell you wrong because you saw him and that's what
Yeah.
you say.
Now I have
And
gone back and watched some video of him play, and he was good.
he was definitely cold, but it's different because we didn't live through it. It's
Right.
different. And that's the same thing I'm trying to tell these kids about Michael. I'm like, you will never understand fully. You can watch the YouTube and see he's cold. You can see that. But you didn't live through it, and it won't be the same.
You
Like you
didn't.
didn't live through Larry and Magic.
Yeah, you didn't watch him go
Even if
through
you
all
go
that.
back and watch, it just
Yeah.
won't be that same thing of you being in that time frame
You
and
didn't
seeing
watch.
the impact they really had.
Right. You didn't watch Michael have to go through Larry and Isaiah
Yeah.
and the Cavs and deal with all that. Battle the Knicks. You didn't have to watch all
Right.
that. And,
So
and
that's why, like these
yeah,
kids, all these kids that I work with or deal with, they think LeBron's the greatest, and I don't, I might make jokes here and there, but I don't, whatever. That's fine because that's who they saw,
that's all they know. I
and
mean,
that's, and
and
you're
we,
not gonna be able to tell them 20 years from now that LeBron ain't the GOAT when some new kid comes along.
yeah,
You're not gonna be able to, just like you can't tell me Michael ain't the GOAT
right.
because I ain't seen nobody better, and that includes LeBron.
And
So
and to be honest with you, when you're talking about the kids, I don't even deal with them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's because I already know that they looking at
You
LeBron.
already know they see
He's
LeBron.
their
Yeah,
superstar. I get
yeah.
that. It's these late 20 and
These
30.
people our age even talking about
And
LeBron.
these
So
40-year-olds and stuff talking crazy. I'm like, man, you guys act like y'all didn't watch basketball back in the 80s and 90s.
the worst possible thing, Jay, is a dude. It's for a dude to have grown up in my neighborhood watching Mike and my age and is a hooper.
You
And
must be talking about Melvin.
I know at least two guys like this.
You must be
Melvin is
talking about
one of them.
Melvin.
Melvin is one of them. For a guy to be a hooper, to grow up in Chicago, in my neighborhood, not just Melvin, there's another dude.
There's another one.
Ken Watts. He ain't in the group. His brother Gardis in the group. But
Call him out. Call him out.
and be talking this LeBron stuff, man. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. Y'all saw the GOAT every game. Come on, man. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, Melvin know he need to quit.
Melvin, no, Mike's. Come on, man.
and there's nothing wrong with Michael LeBron. I know Melvin had to take a lot of heat for liking LeBron all these years, but
He going too far if he think
but you're
Mike.
going too far when you start trying to tear down Mike. Stop it, man.
Yeah, I thought Melvin was a Mike fan though. I don't know where this is coming from.
I don't. I don't.
Melvin not
I
being
don't
a
either.
Mike fan.
I don't
He
either.
did, he did, he don't like the Bulls, but I think Melvin was a Mike fan if I'm not
I
mistaken.
don't know if he is
You have
anymore
to
because the
ask.
way he talking lately,
Yeah,
man.
that's why I've been surprised. Like, what's he doing? I never seen him do that.
Yeah. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to turn Eugene McIntosh on him.
All right. You know, I'm gonna say this. The last thing I'm gonna say about why I don't think LeBron is a GOAT. I know we're getting late. The thing is, I watch these guys once again, and the thing that LeBron is really great at a lot of stuff. Like he really is at a high level. He's maybe one of the best scorers, one of the best, but he's not the best scorer. But he's one of the best scorers, even though that's not his main thing. He's a great passer. He's not the best passer, but he's one of the best. You know what I'm saying? Like so, he's one of the best at like all these things, and I could see why people would say, "Well, that makes him the greatest." But the thing is, he's not. And this is where they use to downplay Mike because Mike actually could do all these things too.
Mike could do all
But
that.
Mike's and BJ Armstrong has talked about this. Mike is a closer.
Yes, he is.
Mike's primary thing was I'm going to close the game because he was such a cutthroat competitor. He wanted to win the game, and so that's where I said I was disappointed in Jimmy a little bit or frustrated because he wouldn't take the shot. Mike would never have passed up no shot where he's the best option to shoot. Even Kobe would do that.
But
But
they were talking about LeBron passing it to Kuzma or somebody.
even that, yeah, like I understand when people say, "Oh, that's the right play" and all that. I get it, but
With the
dude,
game on the line.
like, you gotta, yeah.
With the game on the line, unless you got 3 dudes hanging on your arm or something.
There's no way, and there is no moment ever that I could think of. Well, I know people would say, "Well, he passed to Steve Kerr and he passed," but well, I guess that is the same thing. I was gonna say where he's gonna leave it in the hands of this other dude.
But see, but here's the deal.
I guess that's a similar situation.
Here's the deal with Mike. Okay, Steve talked to Mike before that play.
In that play, yeah.
He says,
And even with John Paxson, Phil Jackson talked to Mike about,
well, guess what? Mike didn't pass it to Paxson though. Horace Grant.
Not that one play. I mean, just in general, when he was like against the Lakers in that series, he started passing to Paxson because Phil was like, "Hey, man, Paxson is open." Like,
Yeah. But Kerr, when they were sitting on the bench, Kerr said, "Hey, Mike, they leaving me open, man."
Right.
And Mike was like,
"All right,
yeah, all right,
I'm gonna trust you." Well, that was like games 5 or 6, right? It wasn't like
Mike was like, "All right."
But even though LeBron passed that and dude missed it horribly, the crazy thing is he should have had a chance to take the last shot because Morris should have passed it to LeBron. He was wide open. But anyway,
but here's the thing though. My point is, Michael would have passed the ball if the defense collapsed on him.
Yeah,
he's not gonna pass the ball if he's got an open shot or if he's got a chance to make a shot.
Yeah.
So to your point,
if the defense is taking it away, he'll pass it.
Game is on the line. He's not going to not take the shot unless he knows for a fact somebody else is open and the defense is collapsing on him.
Yeah.
Now,
and that dude
can shoot.
Yeah. Because the dudes he did pass to, it wasn't like
he's not passing to Bill Cartwright.
Kyle Kuzma. It was right. It wasn't Horace Grant. He's passing to a sharpshooter.
Right.
Whose whole job is to shoot.
Now so that Phoenix game, he did kick it down to Horace, but Horace was under the basket.
Yeah.
But the defense collapsed on Horace. So Horace kicked it out to a wide open.
I want to ask one of them about that play. Nobody's ever talked about that. I want to know because now you got me thinking. Was that designed? Like, did they know they were going to do that? Because I can't think of any other reason why Mike would pass to Horace Grant. I know he was open, but he is Horace Grant.
I mean, to be honest with you, Horace averaged 15 points a game. So in the paint,
but you think Mike giving it to Horace to shoot the game winner?
In the paint, Mike want to win. So in the paint, if Horace is in the paint,
how far was he in the paint? I'm trying to remember the play.
He was down there. Yeah, he was down there he was near the. I mean, I'm not saying he was standing in the paint, but he was close. He was close enough to score.
He was open,
and so Mike see him down there.
He was terrible in that game offensively, though.
Yeah, but Mike see him down there, and he kicks it to him, and then the defense suddenly collapses on Horace, and Horace like, "Oh, really? Okay."
It's funny that they reacted to Horace because Horace was he had a very poor shooting game.
Yeah, but he down there. But he down
He
there at
was
the
dominant
baseline.
defensively though.
You put him on the baseline with the ball on.
No, no, but what I'm saying is I'm just surprised that Phoenix reacted so much to him. Like they overreacted to him. And then that made Paxson open.
Yeah.
Because if they would have just been like, come on, man, you ain't going to do nothing, then that would have made Horace have to shoot.
Oh, he'd have scored. I
He
mean,
may have
if
scored.
they didn't collapse on him, he'd have definitely scored.
That game, he was not.
All he had to do was take 2 steps and a dunk. That would have been
Yeah.
it, you know.
Yeah.
But my
People
point,
try to knock Mike. Another thing, they try to knock Mike for that when he came back from baseball. That's like, dude, like he wasn't even playing, have training camp or nothing. And y'all trying to say like
he had no training camp, no
Wizards, and that. That's not even Mike. That's not even.
I didn't even watch
MJ.
the Wizard stuff. I didn't even watch
No.
the stuff. But guess what? Old man Mike was still out there.
Old man Mike was still giving dudes.
Still out there giving it to dudes.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like, this dude, 40 years old, he's still sticking it to y'all. So, but when he came back from playing baseball, you know, they were making such a big deal about the Magic beating him. I'm like, you know, okay, they beat him. He 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 really wasn't in basketball shape.
He really wasn't.
Anybody that knows Mike and seen him play knew that he wasn't in basketball shape.
Yeah.
So, okay, they won. They earned it. They great, but don't act like y'all beat the best of the best.
No. And he came back and showed y'all the next year.
He came back and showed you
for the
who's
next
best.
3 years.
Right. Because after that, Shaq was like, well, guess I'm here to delay. He's like, screw this, you know. But yeah, they try to discredit Mike all the time. They try to elevate LeBron. I'm like, y'all just stop it. You want to be LeBron fans, just be LeBron
Just
fans.
be a LeBron fan.
Leave MJ alone. His legacy is cemented. 6-0, ain't nothing you
If you
can
think
do.
LeBron's a GOAT, okay, cool, but don't try to, impose that on everybody else. Like I'm not going for that at all.
Yeah, ain't nothing you can do to change MJ's legacy.
No. But I will say this, LeBron has he's definitely climbed my list way more than I had him before. Because there was a time when I wouldn't put him over Bird. There was a time when I was like, nah, he's not over Bird.
No, he had to start winning. But
at this point, I'm like, I would have him over Bird just because, like, man, the guy's. I have to. I can't. Bird's career was so short.
Yeah.
I think if you say, well, who's the better player? Like, if you're on a court and you be like, man, we need to win, I'm going to go with Larry. But if you're talking about their careers and stuff, I'd have to say LeBron is.
Yeah, if you're talking about game-winning shot, I'm going with Larry, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing with Mike and LeBron. If the game is online, whose hand you want? Who you want to take a shot?
100%. Yeah.
MJ. You know, so.
But even like Magic, I wouldn't put LeBron over Magic for a long time. I'm not saying I don't even know if I have.
And I'm a big Magic Johnson fan.
It's a thought now.
Yeah, I'm a Magic Johnson fan.
Yeah, it's almost to the point where now only Michael is above him in my mind almost. Like it's almost there. I got to see his career play out more, but
I still don't know.
He's elevated to definitely top 5.
I still don't know if I can put him ahead of Magic. Magic.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, Magic still got 5, so
it's
I'm not.
For me, yeah. That's why I said his career's got to really play out to where I don't have a choice. But yeah, Magic is.
I can't put him up. I can't put him ahead of Kobe. Can you?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
You can. Okay.
He's a better player than Kobe. Yeah, I think he's better.
Okay. So, but well, okay. I'll go with that.
I'll say Kobe's better in a lot of ways, but I don't know. I was never a big Kobe fan. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
I mean, when you see Kobe, you see MJ. So there's no.
I know, but he's a copy. He's not the real thing.
Yeah.
You know, he came very close, but he's not Mike. He's still not Mike. I saw Kobe do some things that was just like, nah. But he's great. I don't know if Kobe's not in my top 5. A lot of people would think that's crazy, but he's not in my top 5. But LeBron, I have to have him in there. Like he's been too good for me not to. And that's the crazy thing is, if he had the technical ability that Kobe and Michael had, he probably would be the top because that's what's missing. He doesn't have that
skill, and it's too late for that.
It's a little late.
Yeah, he's in the twilight of his career now.
The
so
footwork and all of that, you know.
But so speaking of Larry, somebody posted a really disrespectful meme. Somebody was trying to compare what's his name, Paul Pierce to Larry, saying Paul. Oh, it was the Chief that did that.
Oh, Robert Parrish. I saw
And
something
I was
about
like,
that.
Chief, what are you doing?
Didn't he said Paul was a better scorer or
Or
better?
something. I don't know, man. I'm like, Chief, what are you doing? Paul Pierce ain't his numbers ain't even better than Larry's. And we all seen we got the eye test. Who if the game on the line, who do you want the whose hands you want the ball in? Paul Pierce or Larry Bird? Both in their
Yeah,
prime.
yeah. I take Larry for
I
sure.
take Larry 10 times out of 10, man. Get out of here, man.
Taking Larry for sure, 100%. And I think for the people who do hate LeBron and all that or whatever, I would just advise you to at least just appreciate the game for what it is. Like I understand rooting against him, but like Larry Bird is a good example because I hated Larry Bird. I hated Larry Bird.
He was a competitor though.
100% hated Larry Bird. But once he started to get older, then I started to realize like how
Started
much I
appreciating.
appreciate. And I
Yeah.
got older. I realized like, man, this dude is cold. I
Yeah, I don't know
appreciate.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's not that I ever thought he couldn't hoop. It's just that I hated him,
Right.
and a lot of that was because of the way they portrayed him. Like
I had the same reaction when I
the announcers and
yeah,
the media, they just hyped him up more than I just hated it.
yeah,
And so I like Magic and Dr. J. So I'm like, he's getting in their way, basically.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I had the same reaction at first. I was like, man, Bird and the Celtics, that.
Yeah.
But then as that I got a little older and they started
I
getting a
started
little
to realize
older,
this is a
and I was
bad
kind of like,
dude.
I don't know what I was thinking about Larry. Larry the
This is
ball,
a
man.
bad dude. Yeah, I completely. And one of my best friends was a big Larry Bird fan, man. Like he was,
You couldn't
all he
figure
was
that
talking
out,
about.
right?
And I was like, this was in high school. I met him in high school. And I was like,
You couldn't
man,
figure
dude,
that one
like
out.
he made me like realize, like, man, Larry Bird is a bad dude. Like, I knew he was, but it's just like
Well,
I started to appreciate it.
Magic tried to tell us we wouldn't listen.
Yeah, I just started to sit back and just appreciate it as he got older, and
Yeah,
he wasn't like knocking out teams that I liked and stuff. So
yeah.
it's like okay, yeah, but I feel like people need to just appreciate this because he only got probably 3 or 4 more years to play before he's not gonna play much more than that. I don't think. I don't know,
For
but
LeBron, yeah, I don't
I
see it.
would imagine I would give him at least 2 years of playing at a really high level like he's doing
Yeah,
now.
if he continue to play, he's gonna be a.
But like, if he break the scoring record and all that stuff, I don't think he's gonna play much more longer than that.
If he continues to play past 2 years, he's gonna be more of a old savvy vet who's trying to get some rings on somebody else's team. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He's not gonna be the like you said, the go getter, the LeBron that we see right now. He's not gonna be that.
yeah, because eventually he's not gonna be
No,
this athletic and
no.
all of that.
He's gonna be
So
ring chasing after that, and there's really no reason for him to ring chase. Yeah,
no, I
yeah,
don't think he would let himself be diminished like that. I think he would retire before he's like, you know, going down.
yeah, yeah.
That's why I ain't gonna lie. This year surprised me because he actually led the league in assists. Like he got better in some ways, like. So I was surprised. I think he can do this for 2 more years. I really do.
Well, you got like I said, he got AD. He's got a savvy vet in Rondo. I don't know how much mileage Rondo got, um, but I saw another scenario. They were talking about the Lakers trying to get Derrick Rose. I don't know if that's what they're really trying to do.
Yeah, I don't. That doesn't make a
I
lot
don't
of
know if
sense.
that even fit.
It really doesn't.
Yeah,
I think the team with the Clippers should be trying to get him, but not the Lakers. It doesn't really make sense.
yeah. So
You need
uh,
shooters around LeBron.
yeah. So um, and that's somebody else who's improved this year is Rondo.
Yeah, I know.
You remember back in the day, you could just fall off of Rondo.
Right.
You can't do that no
Yeah.
more.
That's why I was saying earlier that shooting is the one thing I feel like people can improve on that.
Yeah.
All they got to do is put the work in.
Everybody, but your boy up there in Philly, he didn't seem to be interested in
Yeah.
shooting.
Again, if he just go and lock himself in the gym and somebody work on his technique and he practice, he'll get better at it. But I don't know.
Because of that, I'm not high on him at all. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody, Ben Simmons. Everybody makes, they go Ben Simmons. I'm not high on the dude. The dude,
It's a big weakness. It's a
he can
huge.
play. He can play the one. He can play two and the three, but he can't shoot.
He can play the four too.
Yeah, he can't shoot. So he's a liability. He's been exposed.
It's a big liability
He's
too.
been exposed in the
It's like a
playoffs,
really big
big
liability.
time. Because especially when the playoffs come.
Yeah,
They're
that's the
gonna,
big thing,
they're
man.
gonna fall back off of you and make you shoot.
Yeah,
They're gonna force you to shoot, and you don't even want to shoot. So you're not even
that's
taking a
bad. Yeah,
shot.
he don't even want to shoot. That's like,
So why would the Bulls or any other good team give up assets for him?
yeah, it's tough.
I wouldn't do that.
I mean, look at Lonzo Ball. He improved his shooter. His shot, his form is way better. He shoots
Okay.
normal now. He don't do
Good for
this
him.
crazy stuff no more.
Yeah, good for him because he used to look like a straight clown, man.
Yeah, he
So
improved.
that's good for him. I'm glad, but at least he's trying.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I think you can improve if you just,
If you try, if
yeah,
you
if you
put the
try.
effort,
It doesn't seem like Ben Simmons is trying to.
it doesn't seem like he cares. It's like, or either that, or nobody is holding him accountable and making him do it.
Yeah, I mean, they have so much time on their hands. Like, it doesn't make sense for you not to get better at it. You got all types of people at your disposal
It's
to
your
help you.
profession. It's your
It's
profession.
your profession. You
What
should be
you do for a
wanting to
living.
be great. To have such a glaring weakness to me is crazy. I don't understand how you would sit back and be okay with. I'm not saying he's okay with it, but you should be working tirelessly
Apparently,
to
he is
improve
okay
that.
with it. He ain't trying
He
to
ain't
fix it.
gotten better yet. I know. There's no way in hell that. I mean, dude, Tristan Thompson is a better shooter than that.
Yeah. I mean, come on,
I've seen
man.
Tristan Thompson working on his shot, and he's
Yeah.
making jumpers. Like, come on, man. And he's a power forward center.
So, and that's another reason why I never was hyped up on that team, as because I don't think looking at how they're made up, you got him who can't shoot, you got MB who's temperamental,
Out
and
of shape.
and so Jimmy was like,
If any team should be like that's the thing. People were talking about the Bulls. Oh, it should be regretting giving up Jimmy. It's not that. We got something out of it. Philly didn't get anything out of it,
that's what I'm
really.
trying to say. What did
What did
Minnesota get
Minnesota
out?
get out of it?
Yeah,
Exactly. So, and
so
Philly is the team that should be mad about it because the Bulls weren't going anywhere with Jimmy. The freaking Philadelphia should have been a championship contender, and
right.
they decided not to keep him. So,
And to your
or he
point,
decided not to stay. I don't know how that went.
earlier about the Bulls trading Jimmy. Hey, look, I'm one of Jimmy Butler's biggest fans, but I was okay with the trade because like you said, eventually at first I was shocked, but then I thought about it and I was like, well, where are they going right now?
Where are they going? It's just
And
nowhere.
by the time they try to go somewhere, how old is Jimmy going to be?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so if you're going to get some
exactly. You're
assets,
just
and then I
wasting his prime.
then I looked at who they got. I'm like, okay, Zach is a nice little young player. Dunn has potential.
That's a nice, yeah.
Then they
Yeah, I really, yeah.
then they had the number 7 pick or something. They got Laurie, so I was like, okay, that's not bad. But so the uh the Wolves got what in return? I don't even remember who we sent to the Wolves other than Jimmy.
We sent our pick,
Yeah, what was that number? What?
16, yeah. I was mad about that. I ain't gonna lie, I was mad about it. I was like, why are we giving up our pick when they're getting the best player here? They're
Because
getting Jimmy Butler, an all-star. We shouldn't be giving them nothing.
well,
You got Jimmy Butler.
we ended up getting 3 players. That's why.
Yeah.
So and the money wise, I guess they had to make it work like that. But um, my point is that they still gave up more.
Yeah, they gave up a lot.
They gave up way more, and they didn't get anything.
They got nothing to show for it.
They got nothing to show for it. Jimmy gone.
Because I don't even know who they traded Jimmy for. Like, I don't even know.
Did they trade Jimmy or did Jimmy
I think
walk,
they traded Jimmy and
away?
got Robert Covington. No, he wasn't a free agent until
So he got
last year.
traded. Okay.
I think they got like Robert Covington and something. And he ended up going to Houston some kind of way. I don't know what they did, but
And
it
who did
was
they draft at number 16?
a dude named Justin Patton who's not in the league.
So they got nothing to show for the
Got
trade.
nothing to show for it. No.
And so people say the Bulls got shafted. No, the Bulls didn't. Minnesota got shafted.
Minnesota got definitely shafted. They got nothing. They don't have any, even whatever they got for Jimmy. I don't think they have that because I know Robert Covington was in there. I think Dario Saric maybe. None of them are on the Timberwolves, so I don't know. They just get nothing for it. But
And you talk
Jimmy
about
is Jimmy is Jimmy is not the norm. People can't look at Jimmy and think anybody else can do what he did.
no,
That's not the norm.
no, that's not the norm.
That's not the norm.
because
You know
you have
that
to have that.
somebody can.
You have
Because
to
you
be
can be like,
mentally
oh
tough.
well, Jimmy developed that. Like even earlier, I was like, well, Jimmy did develop to be a playmaker, but that's not normal. If you
Yeah.
come into the league and you don't know how to be a playmaker, it's not normal for you to learn that in the NBA.
Well,
You
first
know?
you have to be mentally tough, and then
Yeah.
two, you have to have something inside of you to say, "I can do this."
And that is what's the difference. Jimmy really has a lot of belief in himself.
Yeah.
You know?
And so you're right. There's not a whole lot of Jimmys running around the league, but to the point that we were making earlier, um, you can still get a guy who may be raw defensively, but got some good offensive skills. I take them now because a good coach can coach them up to play good NBA defense.
Yeah.
It's about team defense in the NBA
It's about
anyway.
team defense. It is. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on that. And so I think it's gonna be interesting when we get a chance to we're gonna try to do this before the draft.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah. When is the 18th? I said right. Yeah, we need to try to do it somewhere around that time.
Okay, maybe we'll have a sense by then who we really think the Bulls are going to drag.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some rumors.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think they've been real transparent, which is good. So maybe they'll even have some stuff up on the
Well, I don't
line.
know, man. Arturis was kind of he had that Billy Donovan thing under his coat, man.
That's true. Yeah, we had no idea. Yeah,
So
but
he
I remember years ago the Bulls used to put up like I think even last year was it last year? Whatever year when they got Wendell. Actually, they did it even as recently as that. They had on the website like different guys who came and worked out and stuff. But there probably won't be no workouts. I don't know
well,
how
that
it's
was
gonna.
another thing. Somebody posted a video of LaMelo Ball saying nobody's contacting him. Now, I said there's two things going on there. No team want to overplay their hand and let other teams know that they're interested in him. You probably get teams interviewing him at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, whoever draft him, they're gonna be calling him. It that's just how it's gonna be.
Or he could be just
He could be
lying.
lying,
Or maybe his agent ain't told him. It could be a lot of little
right?
things.
But I mean, do they really have to contact him?
Not really. No.
They already. I mean, they
There's a
know
lot
what
of
they can
people get
do.
drafted. They never talked to that team
Yeah, they know
before.
what they can do. I mean, you got drafted by somebody you ain't never talked to him.
A lot of people get that happens to. Like I didn't even work out for them. I never even talked to them, and you hear that all the time.
Yeah, but you fell into their lap, and they were like, "Oh."
They were like, "Oh snap!" Yeah, yeah. I'm very interested to see what happens.
So now, if he falls into our lap, I think we should. I think the Bulls should pick him.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think he will, but if he did, I mean,
because
I wouldn't go get him. That's
right,
just, I don't think it makes sense. It's just, that's just my philosophy in
because
general. I just,
he's 6'8", David. I don't know if you knew that.
yeah,
He
I
can
did
play
know
one
that.
through three.
I
There's,
did know, yeah.
there's your point forward right there.
I did, yeah. Yeah, and the thing about him is he's just, there's things that he can do that no one else in the draft can do, and very few people can do, period, when it comes to playmaking and stuff. It's extremely special.
So, and I was
The
talking,
other stuff he needs help with,
he
work
needs to work
on
on, yeah,
the shot selection and
yeah,
all of this type of stuff. He's kind of wild,
the right mentor
but
help him
man,
with that.
this guy can make plays that people just can't make.
Talent wise, he's got the skills. He's got the talent. He's got the skills.
Yeah,
Under the right coach,
he just need the right
I
coach.
think he'll be great.
So can you imagine if we did get him and you got Mo Cheeks over there, Hall of Fame point guard?
And
Like
this is what I
that's
was trying
just
to tell people. If you got Melo with him being 6'8", now you can run him as small forward, let him run the ball, and you can put Kobe and Zach on the floor with him.
you could put them together. I mean, it'll be bad defensively, but you could definitely do that at times.
Yeah, you can do that
He
at
can play
times.
with either one of them. That's the good thing. But I will throw this one out there, and I mentioned him before, and that's Killian Hayes, because he will be there at 4. I'm very sure he will be there at 4. And
Well,
he is probably the second best passer in this draft.
yeah, we
So
we need to put a steak dinner wager on this draft. We wait till we gonna let the other
as to
guys
who
pick.
gonna win, or I
Yeah,
mean, who we
who
gonna
they gonna
pick?
get? Who they
Oh
gonna?
yeah,
Yeah,
man, I got a feeling it's gonna be a total curveball that somebody we ain't even talking about.
we didn't even thought about, huh?
Cole Anthony or somebody. We're like,
No,
wow.
man, you thinking about the last regime, man? Don't do that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
That's some
we
crap.
might we might
Some
trade
crap.
down. I
Huh?
wouldn't be surprised if we traded down.
That's some crap Paxson them would do. They be pick somebody. Well, we was looking at this guy and he was just high on our board. He was high. You're the only board he was high on.
You were high. That's the problem. Yeah, but I do like Killing Hayes though. I don't know how good he'll be, but he's real good in that pick and roll and passing and stuff. He can score too, so I wouldn't be mad if they took him because he could also play with Zach and he could also play with Kobe. He's 6'5". He can play with either one of them. Now he can't play no three,
Yeah.
but you know,
I'm gonna say this. I know I'm gonna make some people mad, but all you Zach haters need to just knock it off.
I think it's stupid to hate Zach.
It's
I do.
ridiculous, man. It's just outrageous.
The only problem that Zach has had is he probably had what 5 different coaches in his 6 year career. That's number one. I mean, every year he got a new coach, and
Yeah.
then
And
so he hasn't had
You know
any.
how Tails feel about young players and especially rookies. He's
Well,
hard on
when
rookies.
he played for Tibbs, he averaged 20.
But I'm just
He,
saying, but he's
oh
still hard on him though.
yeah,
Tails trading him. So
yeah. But it's stupid to hate him. The dude works hard. He can score. He's a
volume.
he's a high level scorer in the NBA.
He can get his.
He can
He
get
don't
his
need no help.
shot on
Yeah.
anybody at any time. And that's rare. Like that's not something everyone can do. So you need to be happy you got a guy like that. The
Yeah, I
problem
think
is he's not a guy that should be making no decisions. He shouldn't have the ball all the time.
yeah.
He should just be like the scorer, not
And
the
the good
guy
coach
that's
know
like
that.
not
But
the guy that's like, hey man, you run pick and roll and
yeah.
he ain't gonna be passing to y'all. He's trying to shoot.
And the
So
good coach recognized that.
a good coach would put him in position to do that and just
But
go
then
ahead and get your
but some of the guys wanted to trade him for bums and wanted to trade him
nah.
for I mean, some of the trade scenarios. I'm like, well, why would you want to trade him for that guy? That guy doesn't make your team better. That's just a guy. He ain't better than Zach. What are you trading him for?
How old is he? 24,
Yeah,
25?
he's only like 24, 25. Come on, man.
He's still coming into his
He ain't
prime.
even really
I
hit his
wouldn't trade
prime
him.
yet. No.
No. And one thing I know 100% for sure why I like Zach, this is the main reason. He's a very hard worker and a gym rat.
Yes.
Zach really now maybe he ain't working on defense, but he's really working on his game as far as offensive game. And you can see where he's just getting better. Every year he's getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
So
And so in a
if
minute,
everybody worked like him, then we'd have a hell of a team. I think Kobe's a worker too. Kobe's a worker.
Kobe's a worker. Yeah, I think Kobe's gonna. I mean, he had a good season last year, but I think he's really gonna
He's
break out.
gonna get he looked real confident. I
Yeah.
know it's a scrimmage, but
So it
I think
depends
them
on-
last few games let him know like, hey, I can do this.
and guess what though? It's a real possibility Melo could fall to number 4.
There is a possibility, yeah.
Yeah. So don't count him out. But if he's not, there are other good players that they can get. I'm good. I'm not.
I'm gonna. There's something I think we might have talked about this the last time with Curtis and them, but we were talking about some of them big guys, and I'm not gonna go too far into this because it's getting late. But James Wiseman is looking scary. I'm just gonna put that out there. Anybody that haven't been paying attention to social media and all this stuff, these workouts and all this, I think Timothy posted a picture of him in one of some new group or something like this, and he was ripped. Man, I'm telling you, it's not just even about hitting the weights. I've been watching him do other skill work, and I'm like, this guy looks scary because you can't teach 7'1" with that wingspan, with that athleticism, with that speed, coordination. You can't teach that. So, like, for you to be getting all these skills and getting stronger and have that, I think it's gonna be. I can't imagine that he gets past 3.
No.
There's no way when people see that they're gonna be like, especially after seeing the playoffs. Who are you gonna throw at Anthony Davis? Oh, well, we got this 7'1" guy who can move and he's athletic.
Right.
That's the type of dude you better be trying to get.
And speaking of rip, you've seen Kobe.
Who?
You've seen Kobe worked out.
Oh, Kobe Bryant.
No.
Oh, Kobe White. I'm like, that's
Kobe White.
like Kobe. Oh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. No, he got
No.
bigger.
He's been bulked up a little bit. I
That's
mean, not
good.
not ridiculously bulked up, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm make this my last question.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Do you see the Bucks getting better, getting worse, and where they are? Because if they don't get better, they're not going anywhere. as they are with the
Man,
coach
I
they
don't
got?
know. I don't know. I don't think so. No, I
Yeah.
don't really see where the room is for them to get better. Really,
So they're gonna have to make some changes.
I mean, like, I mean, who was on there? Wes Matthews and George Hill
Middleton
and
and
Corver and Middleton and Bledsoe. I mean, maybe they do some move. They got to do something.
got to make some
The
changes.
team as it is, I don't see how it gets better. They
Yeah.
got to make a move.
You think Gianna stays?
I think he might stay. Yeah, but
Okay.
I think they got to do something. I don't think he's gonna stay if they just
If they
leave
leave
it
the
as it
team as
is.
is, he ain't gonna stay. Yeah.
No, when is he out? Next, not this year,
I
but
think
after
next
this.
season. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they gotta do something. And not just that, like I'm actually surprised the coach ain't on the hot. I ain't hearing no rumors about the coach because you see Doc Rivers, they got him out of there. They were like, man, nah, this is, you know. And the way the Bucks went down, I mean, I think
And they didn't.
that's some coaching to
And
that.
did,
That's
right. And did you see? There were times that he didn't even have Giannis guarding Jimmy.
that's crazy. I mean, if the dude was getting, didn't Jimmy have like 40 on him? Like
Jimmy
you
was
getting
going
40,
crazy
like,
on there. He was just
I mean,
getting.
you better throw the defensive player of the year on him, right?
Jimmy
Isn't
was
that what
getting
he
jiggy
was?
with it, man. And they was
Wasn't he
like
the defensive player of the year? Come on.
something. Yeah, Jimmy was getting jiggy with it, and they were asking Giannis about it, and he was like, "Well, I do what the coach tell me to do."
See, yeah, that's bad. I don't really have a good feel for Giannis. I don't know because I don't pay attention to the Bucks that much. Even in the playoffs, I watched a whole lot of teams, and the only time I really watched them, they lost the game to Orlando, which is crazy in itself. And I saw Miami thumping them a couple of times.
Well, that's
But
one thing Giannis got to do too. He's got to work on his shot too. So
yeah, and he does,
yeah,
But I don't know if there's an as a coach and even Giannis, that's bad. They got to do something because the way they went down was after this season. That was terrible. And I don't know if it was because of the stoppage and then like they just lost all of that
momentum. Yeah,
and then the all the protest stuff that was going on and whatever in Milwaukee and all that. I don't know if all of that affected them and they just couldn't recover, but the way they went down was real bad. And if I'm the owner, I'm like, dude, we can't do this again. So like y'all gonna have to do something different than what y'all just did because we can't go out like that.
if we're gonna
That
mess
was
around and lose
bad.
Giannis, yeah, they mess around and lose Giannis.
That was bad. You got thumped by the worst team.
Yeah,
Not the worst team, a worse team than you is what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
Like
a lesser team.
a lesser team.
Yeah,
Miami should not have been able to beat them, let alone thump them like that.
yeah.
They smacked them. They didn't just beat them; they smacked that team, and they were like the fifth seed. And I know you can't really go by that because they added guys. Iguodala, Crowder weren't there the whole season, but that's not enough that you should be smacking the number one seed with the MVP on the team. Like they
Yeah,
got to do something. I don't think they're.
yeah. Jimmy down there in Miami, like Tony Montana now.
I'm gonna tell you this. Whatever, depending on whatever moves Miami and even Toronto, whatever kind of moves they do, if they do something to add somebody, they'll be better than Milwaukee. Either one of them.
Yeah, I mean, because right now, as it looks,
Maybe
Miami
not in
got.
the regular season, but in the playoffs, they'll be better.
I was gonna say right now, as it appears, Miami's already better than Milwaukee.
Yeah, clearly Miami is better than Milwaukee. You're right. Clearly, they were the better team.
As it appears. So, and then we know Sixers. So it's Miami, and we don't know about Toronto yet. We definitely don't.
Miami has a lot of room for growth.
We definitely don't know about Brooklyn, what they're gonna look like.
That's
And
true.
and oh,
That's true.
I lied. One more thing, and then you got this clown Kyrie talking about ain't no, and we don't really need a coach, and we're
Oh,
all coaches. We're all
that's
coaches.
not a good sign for Brooklyn. That's not a good sign
And when I saw that, I started
if he's
cracking up. I'm
talking
like,
like this.
this fool think he a coach now. He think he a player coach.
Yeah. So I'm wondering. I forgot about them. That's gonna be tough. Yeah, that's a lot of teams. It's gonna be. So wait. Okay. Let's before we go. Let's talk. So you got Milwaukee, Toronto, Boston,
Brooklyn.
Miami Heat, the Nets. Where they were all playoff teams this year. Uh, who else was a playoff team?
That's pretty much it. I mean, this Charlotte squeezed in there.
Indiana was a playoff team, but then they didn't fire the
Yeah, they
coach.
not really. Yeah,
Oladipo, I heard he wants to be traded and stuff, so they may
yeah.
be. And then you got Orlando was in there. It's
Yeah,
what? Oh, Philly. That's the other team I'm thinking
yeah.
about.
And
Yeah,
Philly some duds, man.
Philly is nobody. So
Yeah.
I think the Bulls. Honestly, I thought the Bulls should have been better than. If the Bulls, they started off so
If
bad,
they
they
if
dug
they played
themselves a
up to their
hole.
potential, they should have been seventh or eighth
And there
seed.
were so many games. I used to count this. There were so many games that they should have won that they lost because of bad coaching. I
Yeah,
was
because
earlier in the year. I was counting it, so I was like, "Look how they lost this game, this game." Like all these games, it was about 8 games, which is a lot. Well, it was like they should have won, but it's because of stupid coach. Like they were beating the Lakers one game by a lot of points, and they
let
it
the
was
Lakers
something
come
with
back.
the
Yeah,
rotation. You
yeah.
know
He
that he
gonna
was
mess with the rotation
let
and
the Lakers come
came
back.
back. Yep.
Yeah, and it was other stuff like that. It was like 8 games. They lost to the Knicks. It was a lot of games they should have won. Their record should have been a lot better earlier than it was, and then like everything just fell off at that after that. So
Yep.
they should have been better, or at least competing with Orlando.
Yeah. I agree.
They should have
Yep.
been on that level based on talent. Like they should have. And honestly, this is the last thing I want to say. The Bulls would have been a better team in the bubble than the Wizards were. Like I
Oh
don't know how
yeah.
the Wizards got in
This
the
was
bubble.
terrible. Yeah. Yeah.
Even if they had Bradley Beal, they would have still been terrible. I don't know why they
That's
were in the
that's
bubble.
that's another team I don't have any. I don't see any
No,
growth in. Yeah, that's just yeah.
I don't know what pick
I
they
think
had,
Bradley
but
Beal gonna end up leaving them some
I
kind of
think he's gonna get traded
yeah.
eventually. Yeah.
Because I don't see them going anywhere in the Raiders and stuff.
No, and then John Wall is healthy again, so
Who knows with them, but
that's still not gonna be good enough.
mm-mm. But yeah, man. So we'll get ready for the draft and we'll come back and holler at the people and we'll
And
have
we
a
gotta. This was last minute, so that's kind of my fault for pushing for it. But I
that's
just feel like we had to talk about this, and I didn't want to wait until
yeah, that's right. We'll have
Thursday.
other guys ready for the
Yeah,
draft. We'll dig into that. Hopefully Christy will join us for one of these.
yeah, we gotta get Christy. It's a must. We
Yeah,
gotta get her on.
yeah.
I'm gonna try to talk to her. I need to get her number. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
All right.
and then you can talk to John and see what happened here.
That was very surprising, especially because we really put it here for him to be able to make it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, brother,
All right, Jay, man.
we had a good one. This is cool. We'll talk to
Yeah.
y'all. Catch y'all later.
All right. Peace, everybody.
All right.